Welcome back, everyone, to the Paladins World Championship as we get ready for the semifinals to determine who will be the final two teams that will compete for the grand prize here at HRX 2018. Welcome to the Alienware Analyst Desk. I'm Golden Boy alongside with Bitey and Gormizer. During the break, I made a fateful mistake, fellas. I made a dreadful mistake. I went into the chat and I went to Twitch and I asked everyone if they could feel me. I asked them to press 1 if they could feel me, and please now it's just all ones.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and a single shot for me. As the guy who's the what face, I think it's only appropriate that this is the time where I do a what face for that. You know?
Yeah,
so,
go for it.
You know, just get the single shot if we can, and then all right. So this is for you, Twitch chat. There you go. With the porker. All right, guys, let's get serious, please. Come on, chat, get serious. Come on, guys, get serious.
I'm ready to go. I've been excited for this matchup straight since I figured out that Nocturns is in the semifinals.
So pumped. The Latin American team, you have 4 members from Argentina and Etaceh from Uruguay. And so this is a Latin American squad, and I am just so stoked for them. What they're doing for Latin American Paladins, I think, is incredible.
I don't know if there's always happy teams after they get it. Nocturns was ecstatic. They were so happy to have made it as far as they have. I think that they are even kind of surprised how well they're performing.
I think the whole group is surprised. I think that's a true statement. Everybody was surprised when they came in.
Totally agree. But their opponents on the other side of the stage, Bitey, you're very familiar with this team, and it is going to be Navi, the powerhouse. And dare I say, the odds-on favorite in this tournament. Unbelievable. Spunkki, Mutu, Creatives, and Faenex. I believe they're the favorite. They just look so dominant, Bitey.
You know, if you had to say there's something like the big boss of Paladins, you know, when you're ready to try to go hard, you need to think, are you ready for Navi?
I like when you just bring the deep voice out.
The deep voice.
It helps. I mean, Gore, this team has been just, I agree with Bitey. They're the final bosses. That's it. They're the ones at the end of the dungeon.
Even when things look scary for them, they bring out the Androxus. And then everything looks scary from them. They just are a monster when it comes down to it. And just being able to kind of keep this going, and even like, I mean, they put their game faces on. Spunkki, I think, always has a game face on when it comes down to it. I don't think I've seen him laughing too much, but it's just game face. And just the way that they have been playing along with Mutu with the Androxus, but unbelievable. All of them have just been dominant.
That's right. And then their opponents, we talked about it a little bit earlier when we came out of the break. It's Nocturns Gaming, the Cinderella story here at HRX 2018. A team that's very ambitious, very eager, and potentially could make history being a Latin American team in the finals. You have a great squad there. And again, just to kind of, re-emphasize, because I think it's so cool, Puleule, Saadhak, Fuzzy Logic, Crimson from Argentina, and you have Etaceh from Uruguay. So cool stuff there, gotta love that team. And
there he is.
Hey, they got the porker.
So he just kind of likes to pick, his favorite, and sometimes he just gets real excited, so he just has to get up there, and Etaceh was more than happy to just bring him on in. So he's showing some support, and I always loved their team, so I let him go.
You know what? Etaceh is my favorite because he's wearing a New York Yankee hat. The best baseball team in the world. Yeah?
I feel like we need to get F-Dot over here, and you two can just kind of discuss. Like, that's where we need to fill the time if we need to.
Clearly.
Personally, I like the Green Bay Packers.
That's not the same. It's like,
You tried.
Yeah.
You tried.
I'm sorry.
Oh, bless you. Okay, so let's go into the maps here. We have Brightmarsh, which will be our first map, and when we get a chance, we'll take a look at the bands. Oh, it's actually going to be Timbermill and Frog Isle for those bands. And Timbermill, that makes sense. Again, I'm going to keep emphasizing it because of the sniper play. I'm sure Navi doesn't want to have to deal with that against Etaceh.
Well, I think it's just Timber's a default ban, you think?
It's one of those maps that, again, like there's kind of a negative connotation with Timber Mill for a lot of the players. Sometimes it is going to be, hey, that sniper, like Hecate earlier, like you go to Timber Mill, you see what he does on Kinessa, you already don't want to go there, and then there's on top of the fact that you don't want to go there in the first place, so they just want to get rid of it.
So you just don't want to go there. Timber Mill, man.
Not the vacation place. Too many saws. Too
Not
scary.
a good neighborhood.
No, but I'm okay with, what was our first map? Brightmarsh? I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's a
I
great
like
map.
Brightmarsh.
Really bright, really friendly.
Yeah.
Very marshy.
Very marshy. Very marshy. All right, so the bans come through, and standard across the board here is Navi's going to get rid of the Bomb King, and then you have Makoa going out on the Nocturns Gaming side. Buck instantly locked in for Na'Vi, but it seems like NG wants to go for that Torvald.
Yeah, I would say this is going to be the standard kind of start off here. I don't always see the Torvald coming out quite so first. I haven't quite locked it in, but Buck is that staple big guy. Like we always say, big gun, big guy, big heal.
They've run some Torvald today, and they've had success with it, and they also were able to shut it down, so they know how the champion works in and out, able to counter it as well as use it well. It's going to be interesting to see how they can handle it here. It was, I think, Saadhak who played it earlier, who also played a phenomenal Ruckus, which is also very, very strong on this map.
I do want to talk about here, with the Genos on the field, I believe Torv and that man, they are a soft counter to Talus.
You
Just
think
a
they're
little bit.
preparing for that?
Yeah, just in case. And if they don't, you can always pick a Talus with that.
And there you have it, Bitey. It's almost as if you are a professional player for SK Gaming.
I might be the captain,
Maybe coach, captain, and player, I believe.
The triple threat.
The triple threat, man. Oh, dear. All right, so we have a potential Leon pick. Yes, Leon is going to get locked down. That could go to Hecate.
And this kind of goes back to, I think, what you had mentioned earlier the first time they did it. It was on Brightmarsh. The Leon came through, and you were saying Hecate said that he wasn't as confident
I heard
with
that in the
his
interview.
Leon play, but he played it phenomenally. He made sure to stand up, and it fits in. She is going to be your sniper that's not a sniper that's going to work for Brightmarsh.
And I also want to say, like, if you get ulted by that little Talus, she can just use her perfect immortality mini ult, big damage bomb, and potentially just chase him off or get the trade frag.
How do you
So-
feel about that Ruckus pick up there? I mean, I would have liked NG to get Ruckus, but it would have been shredded apart by the Talus, so it makes sense.
I'm a little scared personally for Nocturns because I feel like it wasn't the cornerstone of their success, but it really changed the level of play. It was close games without it and really far ahead when they were able to get that for Saadhak.
I'm just going to say it. Seppi Cloud has an insane Ruckus,
Oh.
but that's not I'm mixing it up here.
This is it. So I guess they want to do their best Mutu impression and take that Androxus. Bitey, how do you feel about that?
I think it's good. Androxus is a soft counter to Ruckus in a way. It's kind of hard to duel out that man with that big cannon. So I would say I'm rooting for Nocturns here.
Okay. What about for you, Gary?
I just want to see if you can Mutu flick Mutu at that point. If you can literally use his move against him and try to get it. I don't think anyone pulls it off nearly as clean as he does, but we do see other players start to pick that up, try to go through, and honestly, like you said, Androxus, it's really hard to box him. When it comes down to it, Ruckus, you try to dump everything into him, he's just going to go reversal and blast it all right back at you.
This is going to be tough for both teams. For Nocturns, an opportunity here to punch her, take it to the grand final, be stalwarts in Latin America. But not only that, also just prove that Latin America, I mean, I think they've already proved it, but still, continue to give their region that stage. Whereas for Na'Vi, business as usual for this Juggernaut team, Juggernaut organization. It's a tough one. But let's go ahead and send it over to your casters and get ready for the game. It's going to be Pretty Hair and Rende.
Well, thank you, Alex. This one is going to be exciting. We are here, best of 7, about to get started. Nocturnes, can they keep the dream alive? Nick, I think everyone in here finally believes that it's possible.
Running a pretty aggressive triple DPS composition. Actually, no, excuse me. That's just the Inara coming through. Saadhak running the Androxus for the first time this tournament. Fuzzy Logic. What can he do?
Creatives here on the Buck. And I like this patience from him. He's going to need it. He's got a long time, a lot of adjustments This is a different pace. Mutu finds the first skill, and UNBE finds the second one. Nocturne's not doing so good. First off, and now the pressure continues. Saadhak may fall here. Everyone is so low. Boy, oh boy, Nocturne's starting off rough.
It's kind of funny to think about, but I mean, grouping up on Brightmarsh, I have two memories of it. Fuzzy Logic might be able to turn this one around. He is not running heads will roll what Mutu is running. He's taken his own style into the realm.
And he's really impressed me, Nick, today. Fuzzy Logic has been a star for me, and now a great wall. He's going to block that off. 96%, 99. The contest is here. Fuzzy Logic on the left side. They can't keep track of him, and Crimson finds a kill on a Mutu. This is not something that Na'Vi were hoping for, but they'll back off. No need to rush for them as Creatives finds another kill.
Creatives going to find one more. Looking for Fuzzy Logic, but he can't find him. Unbelievable. We'll have to answer that question. Na'Vi with 99% on the point.
Puleule, Crimson, Saadhak still here. They're going to have to touch. They may just give it up. I don't think there's enough time, and that's a final kill. Puleule drops back. Not sure that's what he needed, but it is everything that Natus Vincere wanted to start.
Look at Na'Vi coming in just pretty cold. They haven't played in a while now. Nocturnes have played twice today.
Oh, you say that's why they might lose this first point?
Making them going hot. And even with those warm-up sets, Na'Vi still showing that they are ready.
I mean, it's interesting. We did see that tweet come through from Cuss and talking about how he thinks there may be a bit of something going for those who, like I was saying earlier, might get an advantage from continuing to play. And I think that's just sometimes the luck of the draw, being able to start fresh and have that break, or being able to keep a momentum going. You never know. It works differently for different teams. So far, though, Nocturne's not quite looking as sharp, and Na'Vi continuing to be as sharp as ever.
3 kills coming through for them. Puleule answers back with 2 of his own. But it's just a creative show right now. He's been under very little pressure. 12 streak burning currently for young Faene.
You know, he's the guy. I think Creatives is the guy that I personally know Nocturnes have to deal with. Fuzzy Logic has had moments, and that's good. I mean, that's sometimes more than what we've seen against Na'Vi from any team in this entire tournament. They've really looked dominant, but Creatives has always been a step above the rest. If they can cut him down, that'll help.
He's looked really good this tournament. A lot of teams having standout players with standout performances. Fuzzy Logic will go high. Double kill for Faenex down low, and this payload with not much distance left to go. 56 on the clock. Na'Vi trying to make it happen.
Fire is ready. I don't think they're going to need it, Nick. This should be a 2-0, and it's early. Again, this is a best of 7. No need to get too crazy here. We are in for the long haul. So sit down, grab a beverage, grab some chips. It's going to be a while.
Double-double there for Puleule, but answer back double for Mr. Mutu as well. Nocturnes, they'll go on the back foot early. Brightmarsh. This is going to be Na'Vi's map pick there, the higher seed in this matchup. Nocturnes have won some good games on Brightmarsh today, but Na'Vi, this is quickly becoming their map.
And that's important because Na'Vi have, you know, always been that tertiary threat. Fnatic, NIP. I mean, a lot would even say that Virtus Pro now have eclipsed Na'Vi in what they've been able to do. But at this point in this stage, Na'Vi have stolen the spotlight, and they don't want to give it up. These two teams have both been the talking points, I think, of this entire tournament, and now they're battling for the first time.
2-0. Blood drawn by Etaceh first in this round. Nocturnes, they'll work on taking map control, but even fighting 4v5, Natus Vincere are still holding ever so slightly past half court, and Creatives has just found the return kill.
And that's okay. I mean, this patience is what I'm seeing from Creatives. It's
Jeb
consistent
baited.
in and out, and that hyper beam, he thought he was going to get it. I mean, I like the reaction, though. It's just a little bit too late. I think that's more of the fact of how late hyper beam can come out.
Unbelievable. Will go deep into the back line, find himself a kill, 2 for 1 in favor of Na'Vi, but they remain parked on the point. Mutu creating a wall of bullets for Puleule to walk through if he wants to contest, and it doesn't look like he does.
Can't forget about Mutu here. A lot of respect being shown to the European Fire, and that wall not even able to get put up. He catches some of those with the hands, but Androx is forced out. They've got a secondary frontliner, which is important in Etaceh here from the side, but I don't think there's enough damage Etaceh can spill, and now with Creatives jumping on him, it is going to be Na'Vi taking a 3-0 lead over Nocturnes.
Having a, momentous run through the losers bracket of Group A. Nocturns Gaming now up against Natus Vincere. Momentum is not on their side. Na'Vi coming off cold on the day. They're just looking so good, and I don't know. You don't want to get down early on yourself. You got to be happy you made it this far. But Nocturns, this has got to hurt.
This is definitely not what they wanted. But you know what? This is the first map, and this is something that is, like I said, it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. These games, they can go the distance, and of course, 7 of them can take quite a while, especially with highly contested teams. Nocturnes looking for their first point. Natus Vincere have 3 thus far. Fuzzy Logic found a lot of kills, and if there is a moment for those KDAs to be shown to us, we will see how many those are. I would expect nothing too special coming out from Nocturns Gaming.
Faenex went deathless in the first round. Fuzzy Logic in some trouble. He'll get a bubble, but a true power as well to the face, and he falls. Faenex taking down and handling Fuzzy Logic 7 and 7. Not pretty slash lines on the side of Nocturnes. You were right. We've got some good ones on Na'Vi, though. 7, 7, and 7. Read the kill columns for Mutu. Faenex, an unbelievable creatives pushing forward to get another one of his own.
Yeah, this Torval did not work. I mean, you could see how big Ruckus is going to be in this. Faenex, when he gets it, he's one of the best Ruckuses we've seen. He's had moments that I think cemented his position as a top-tier frontliner in Europe. Nice wall there, but Puleule gets taken down. That's an easy Natus Vincere victory.
That's a doo-doo wall, actually. It goes up in front of the payload, preventing Puleule from contesting, giving it back to Na'Vi. If the payload rolls forward into an Inara wall, touches it in any way, shape, or form, it is completely destroyed. But Nocturnes, I mean, they were reaching at that point.
It's an interesting start out for Nocturnes. They've had a set break, and Na'Vi haven't played all day. In fact, that's what happens when you've kind of been the winners in this tournament. You have to wait and see who gets to step up and challenge you. I love how Alex put it, the boss at the end of the dungeon, the raid boss, so to speak. And so far, no one has held a chance. They don't have the right armor, don't have the right items, don't have the right character composition, but maybe these 5 dreamers from Latin America are the ones that are going to do it.
Far from defeated expressions, I think, on the faces of Nocturns Gaming right now. Fuzzy Logic not backed into a corner, forced to play Androxus in any way, pulling it out for the first time, but Mutu still smirking his Mutu smirk as he retains the crown, at least for that champion, as far as this event goes.
Why do you think Na'Vi, because I have my own conjecture, so I kind of want to ask you the question and I want to bring it up as a conversation, but why do you think Na'Vi have been so dominant in this tournament?
They've got a full 5 squadron here that has been playing together for a long time, as well as the fact that they have always been in that 3rd spot. They've been grinding, they know how to lose. Slowly over time, they've just been, as Spunkki put it, banging their head against the wall, figuring it out, you know, step by step, and they have just become masters of the drafts. And this man right here has stepped up at this tournament.
And I think you're right. You hit a lot of the key points there. And I would also kind of highlight one and throw that yellow marker over the idea of understanding the draft, having a awareness of the draft. They're doing everything well, they're playing well, they have a full roster, and they also are drafting well. And they're drafting a step ahead of their competition almost every game. Nocturnes kind of have been doing the same thing, but here against Na'Vi, we see them still lose out, I think, in the draft. That was not even a contested game. Brightmarsh, Na'Vi had that one in the bag, so now with Stone Keep, maybe a chance for Nocturnes to switch things in their favor.
And if they get rolled here, this is a best of 7, but not a good look to go down 2-0, especially on their undeniably best map. And you wonder, looking at kind of scrim partners, Na'Vi, opposite sides of the brackets of Ninjas in Pajamas.
Yeah.
Great draft minds on that roster, and kind of both of those teams almost, you got to wonder after the PWC qualifier, are they not kind of seeing where they're sitting in the bracket, tag teaming that idea that Virtus Pro kind of proposed and proved to the world, working together as much as they can be as opponents at the end of the day, but sinking their teeth into that meta, figuring out how to dismantle it.
I mean, they're best friends till they're enemies. At the end of the day, they both have different paths to the finals, and if they can both get there, they'll be happy about it and then deal with the consequences later. So far, Nocturnes, I think, make a decent band there on the Talus. Mutu was good, but I'm not sure if that was really what turned the tide. Nocturnes now with the first pick. It could be the buck that they go into for Fuzzy Logic. Oh, wow.
That's had Vegas odds on first pick.
Wait, we're hearing
Small
there's
little, hiccup there. It is not, in fact, Maeve. It does begin with M, however. Surprise, it's Makoa. Same first 2 letters. I know what the pick band software looks like. That's an easy mistake to make. She's going to be right above Makoa. Torval will be locked in as a response to Nocturnes, and the respect Talus band that has been, he's gone from a niche at the PWC qualifier to, you know, priority and even ban worthy at the PWC.
We watched him, and I watched him in that Fnatic game, and I just think he is so good right now. I think in this meta, he melts the tanks that are involved so well. He has such good synergy with Genos. There's just so much burst, and that anti-heal, which is so important early game, is just devastating.
Synergy is a good point to bring up when you talk about Talus. Genos, always there, always one of the top 2. But you can't help but think Talus helped force Genos into that #1 undisputably. He's the healer we're taking position.
Yeah. As
well as the fact you talked about that strategy, and we'll get to that pick in just a moment that was locked in. But that moment in the previous set when Evil Eye gets to unload, uncontested, a full clip. The second that clips out, he pops his overdrive, unloads that for 3 seconds. It is just a disgusting amount of damage.
It's too much really to handle, and especially if you're a Torvald, or even if you're an Inara. I mean, Inara melts under Talus, and that is something that's surprising. He counters one of those most sustaining tanks in the game. And now Leon, the scion of House Ico, will be taken as well with the Sha-Lin.
And Androxus, of course, was locked in by Na'Vi. Mutu ready to show Fuzzy Logic and the boys of Nocturnes how it's done. The only map we've actually seen Mutu operate this character on, a very famous player-champion combination, was seen here yesterday on Stone Keep. Also seen leaving Stone Keep with a lot of corpses behind him.
A lot of corpses behind them, absolutely. And you know, I think their necks were all twisted and turned because they were looking left and right as they were trying to follow him, flicking forward and back. These Mutu flick shots are the real deal. So you'll have a beautiful chance to see if he's on today.
But I will say, man, a lot of on-demand CC for Nocturnes to lock him down. Void Grip, which Mutu did play against, and he was fine.
Yep.
But Makoa Hook as well. Impales to be aware of. Leon with her Enlightenment. That's a hard 1v1 to take unless you have hyper-awareness of that ultimate, where it is it charged, watching, even if it's not on you, recognizing that, did Etaceh kill somebody with that last cast? Is he going to be at 50%? Is he back to square one? That is a key for that 1v1.
Very important game sense. So Na'Vi, Nocturnes, getting ready to go into game 2, and you see kind of tense moments for Na'Vi, Nocturnes, Virtus Pro. Everyone's watching to see how this develops. Teams who should have been here, at least in their minds, knocked out of the semis. One of these two are going to the finals of the Paladins World Championship.
Best of 7 here. Na'Vi up 1-0, ready to kick things off into game number 2. Best foot forward here for Nocturnes. This is their map selection. Maps in all sets of Paladins, and the competitive rule set goes high seed picks, low seed picks. Beyond this map, whoever loses gets to choose where the series will unfold next.
Precision from Etaceh, interesting there, and recurve from Fuzzy Logic, not something we always see. Giving up a very, very important Desert Withdraw. Desert Shadow, excuse me. Heads will roll here, picked up by Mutu.
They have their style, Evan. They've really stuck to it, honestly. They have a couple of things that define them. This pick, this legendary, is one of them. Recurve Sha-Lin is not something that comes to mind, though, when I think of Fuzzy Logic. Also looking at Crimson, how can he keep up in the sustain department running a solo Luminary Genos?
Oh, first blood. Fuzzy Logic picks up Mutu. So this is good. Now Kratos is going to collapse. You'll see him join the fight late. He's done that every single time, and now I hope Nocturnes are catching on to it like I have. And at this point, Etaceh very, very low, in a bad spot, going to get taken down by Faenex. 24% head counting on the point for Natus Vincere.
I mean, it was a 1-for-1 trade initially, but Na'Vi never felt like they were out of control. And we've even seen 1-for-0 trades go against them, and they still feel like they're in control of the map. Granted, they always have the frontliners up and available.
They're just working so well as a unit. Creatives might get out here. The jump is down, and that's good. Na'Vi here, 93, 96%, 99. Objective, no, not captured. There's Makoa. He's here, but Puleule goes down thanks to Mutu, and now Etaceh has to make a move. Crimson's there as well, healing him up, but he needs a little bit more because Saadhak is falling low, and Etaceh just can't burn through this Inara.
Overtime is going to be started in favor of Na'Vi. 99 to 15 as that payload is in the books. Offense beginning now for the yellow and black.
Nocturne said we can win against anybody. We beat these best teams. We've got belief. Probably riding on so much emotion, energy, adrenaline over those last 5-6 games that they played before taking a break here. And now
those emotions take a toll.
They do. I mean, you have that kind of up and then that down.
That is what is asked of you in the losers bracket. Mutu getting back to form here. Heads will roll. 2 have already called, and triple kill for the God Slayer from Finland.
This guy playing Droxus, I don't know. I've never seen him on.
From time to time, I hear.
Time to time, I hear as well. I'm sure everyone does. Everyone aware of the man's prowess on this dark stalker. Despite running the Heads will roll legendary. Cursed Arm is ready for him if he wants to get into the air. He haze pop by Shaolin. They know that they're under the pressure right now. Natus Vincere wants to find a push, but that's going to be a kill. Fuzzy Logic will slay Mutu, and here's an Etaceh Enlightenment, and he will find Faenex. That may be enough to stall it just for now, and that's definitely going to do it as Umbi falls.
Small potatoes, but doesn't get the killing blow, unfortunately, with that ultimate, so he has to go back to ground zero. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. If an Enlightenment scores the killing blow, that is Leon's ultimate. She goes straight back to 50% ultimate charge, so she can really get a snowball rolling, especially later game if she's itemized into something like a morale boost, which is a utility item in the credit store that will provide additional ultimate charge.
Creative's just kind of going from left to right, using Buck's repositioning still, and now just hitting the Buck Wild to get an easy kill under the back line, and they've got no sustain. I mean, what a smart play. What a smart player. Creative's absolutely getting creative with his use of that ultimate.
How do you lose that fight is I think the better question if you're Natus Vincere. Creatives rips through 2.5 people from Nocturnes, and somehow
look at
they're
that.
Hanging on, but Evan just barely.
Oh, wow, and they still somehow get Mutu. He's got the emitter back. They bought so much time. He bought time for a second round of an emitter. They've got to go down there, but luckily it's Puleule. He has Ancient Rage, but the biggest thing here is not to use it. They're forcing on Spunkki. Blandon might do it. He's going to at least not be able to heal for now. Throws the gourd down, but that's a full finish. And look at this. Doc buys all the time in the world. Double kill for Etaceh, and Nocturnes tie it back up.
Okay, Faenex kind of clapping his hands, nodding there, recognizing, all right, these guys are here to play. There's a big old reversal from young Mutu. Cleans himself up a double, and just more pulls of the trigger to score himself the triple.
You know, Creatives is such a smart guy. I'm starting to figure out what he's about. He's pretty quiet. Obviously looking at Mutu, and that's the Mutu highlight with Faenex in the background, so don't get those two confused if you're wondering, hey, that guy's a little different. Creatives, who I was kind of bringing up, and I wanted to just tee off to you, Nick. I just think the way he plays his flankers, he always waits. They go in as 4. He waits for a long time before engaging.
Maybe something he picked up from Mutu, because I remember specifically Lazy complaining about that type of playstyle from him. He'll sit on his horse as long as it takes. He's playing patient, just as you mentioned, poking out, waiting for his moment. If it even needs to come now, recognizing that his team might just win the fight outright.
Etaceh, Puleule, they find 2 kills. Nocturns Gaming turn up the heat. It's already hot in this room, but outside it's freezing, and definitely in the side of Natus Vincere. As I heard, it's not too good in terms of temperature in the underworld. They go back to base, and it's going to be 57% and counting for Nocturnes.
Feeling the heat, 66%. Even footing, of course. No comeback mechanic in play for either squadron now. Hyper Beam comes out, buys a lot of displacement, if nothing else.
Seismic Crash here. Sun's 2 front lines. If they get both of them down at the same time, that's bad. Forces Dread Serpent out as well because he's focusing Creatives, and now Saadhak able to back off. If they can do this the right way, maybe get a hook onto this Bog, they can go back in, and Faenex by himself now on the Inara has to have a big decision made. Does he stay there? Does he retreat? Let Nocturne step on for a bit, try to get a kill. They're just going to hold.
Climbing up and up they go. Na'Vi, they do it again and again, finding the way to receive control. The flick, the dash, the flick, the dash. Mutu getting it done. Full reset on his dash cooldowns to keep the ball rolling.
How in the world does it happen? Etaceh uses the Enlightenment, but nothing goes from that. Mutu, so good, staying alive there. So many resources thrown at him, and Natus Vincere capture it again. Europe's looking great.
Etaceh, not angry, but definitely objectively knows what went wrong in that fight. He is disseminating that information to his team as we speak. See if they can make the adjustments necessary. But when Mutu's playing like he is right now, and Na'Vi are looking as good as they are right now, it's going to have to be a picture-perfect strategy and execution if they want to have a hope.
And Nocturns have been really good about defending, too. They are giving themselves a lot of point fights, a lot of time to make corrections, which a lot of teams aren't doing. They're losing too fast. And now this Dread Serpent, I think resilience needs to be something you go into. Faenex and Mutu find a couple kills, but spunkki set up so much with that ultimate. Nice stuff from Fuzzy Logic, though. He's starting to step up. He's been a big-time playmaker for the Latin American team.
Big decisions to be made here by Fuzzy Logic, looking for the frags. Where does he want to go? Creatives needs one shot. He just popped recovery. He's big, he's bad, and he is healthy.
You think this Luminary is actually playing a big difference? I mean, Shaolin hits for so much more when you actually have that attached to you, and now he's going to withdraw. They don't know if he's down low, but Creatives is just so sustaining.
Trouble, trouble. And I've noticed, like, you see Creatives and Mutu coming up over the wall. I'm watching Fuzzy Logic's mouth, and it's not really moving much. That is pretty critical information, I think, to let the guys know so they don't get blindsided like they did last round with Creatives.
That is important. You're right, Nick. And now Mutu has a chance to do something amazing here. He's trying to flick, but Fuzzy Logic and Saadhak are there. This is the same kind of crew that held before, but now Faenex is in such a good position. Unbe finds a kill, but here's Crimson. What can he do? Takes down one frontliner. Will he take down another? The support causing so much damage. And Ruckus, you could say, he's creating as Ruckus and him go to finish off Faenex with 36 seconds left.
100% on Ancient Rage, and that's it. Almost time and space. That'll come up in just about a second or so. Passive ult charge. We'll get Crimson there now, but 4 in the tank for Na'Vi, and they don't have necessarily a defined style. No one really does to the tune of Virtus Pro and their saving of ultimates and management of those resources. Na'Vi, if it's going to take a couple guys hitting E to get it done, they're going to do it.
I mean, the most important person right now is spunkki. Look at that. Resilience is already there, and that already made the difference. spunkki is down. That's very fast, faster than it had been before. Creatives now, hopefully, with Hi-Rez going down. Fuzzy Logic gets the kill, but he does not get the defense, and that's kind of like winning the battle and losing the war.
Now, Evan, we watched that life pretty closely there from Puleule on Makoa. He had his ultimate.
Decided not to.
He had time to use it. He definitely just felt like he decided not to use it. Now Nocturnes will go down 3-1, meaning, of course, that comeback mechanic is enabled for them. They've got 3 ultimates now to work with, but Na'Vi didn't have to use a ton to get that done.
Nick, this is really important. I want everyone to pay attention because when you actually win this next one, you have the same chance to go ahead and push it up. It's going to be 2-3 or 3-3. But you get those 300 credits. You get yourself back in that objective capture game, that economy game, and you still have a position to go and be exactly where you are. Na'Vi could be 900 credits ahead if they let them go 2-2 and then get that 3rd objective in a row. So now with comeback mechanic, they may have a chance.
Looking for some frags here. A lot of members falling low from Na'Vi. Nocturne's looking healthy. Hook's going to land on a Creatives. He's got nowhere to go and will fall first.
Big fight right there. And now Faenex, though, he's going to take down Puleule. Inara has not been good at falling down. That's never been something she's been good at. Natus Vincere have 39%. This is played the way they need to play it. And they've got to get an angle. So far, busting the shield. Nice heat haze as well. I think spunkki needs to fall. And they realize that. Etaceh takes down Unbelievable. And now Fuzzy Logic finding down the healer, and it looks like Enlightenment is coming. Double kill, triple for Etaceh from Nocturns Gaming. And now they're back in business with 15% and that increased capture objective rate now.
Nightmare, but I don't think he's got Na'Vi sweating just yet. Etaceh pulls out a pretty critical play to get his team at least in the conversation. 75% for Natus Vincere, quickly climbing and evening up the score with the comeback mechanic. Nocturnes will even it up exactly before this fight kicks off.
Oh my God, gotta get Creatives here. He misses the precision, the presence, but he still has the presence of mind to use that right click and get that Valor, which is easy pickings for a girl like Leon. She's used to the high, fine dining, and she's gonna go ahead and serve herself up a plate of one objective going the way of Nocturnes.
There it is, their first offense of the series. That's a good one to just get under the belt. They went down 4-0 in game 1. This is their map, though. They cannot afford, just morality-wise, to get crushed here. I don't know if they'll be able to bounce back from a loss on their favorite map.
I mean, this is what I was talking about too, Nick. It's risky, right? You go down to game point. If they lose, whatever. But if you win, it's such a big upside. And the next fight as well, they still have that increased comeback mechanic if they're in a position where they don't push this. And then there'll be 2 objectives captured to Navi's 1, and they will have an economy lead. This got them back item-wise, this got them back momentum-wise, and they really only had to win one team fight, despite them doing a good job and actually winning 2.
Kate popping Enlightenment just to stay alive there, and as 4 members of Natus Vincere fall at the cost of 0 members of Nocturns Gaming, you got to look at this composition going into late game, and of course, it's all about hitting your shots at the end of the day, but Buck, we've seen him struggle definitely more so into the late game, and Droxus can find himself in that same position. Assassination is not easy when you're looking at the backliners. Fuzzy Logic and Etaceh both buying into defensive itemization.
Cauterize 3s available for pretty much everybody on the side of who wants them, who's building them. Some wreckers as well coming through from Fuzzy Logic to burn down the Torvald shield. Only really needs 1. Now that's a good shot on Mutu. He's going to grace away, make sure Mutu can't flick shot him. And he's also got to back off because there's a lot of damage coming his way. I will be, I think, remiss if I don't mention the resilience as well coming through. That spunkki has been so deadly in terms of exploiting them not having earlier on, but that won't be able to continue with those Dread Serpents.
And CC's pretty big for this Natus Vincere squad. You've got the Snake Toss stun from Maldama, the Dread Serpent ultimate, of course, the Hyper Beam ultimate, as well as the Nullify Silence from Torvald, Seismic Crash from Inara. There is significant crowd control on Navi's roster.
I mean, in this interesting matchup, you see Navi now kind of on the back foot. They've lost a lot of that character that we had seen throughout the first 3 points, the capture, the push, and the ability for them to go ahead and obviously capture 1 more. But I think now when you see Mutu, it's in more of the line of where we would expect an Androxus in this meta. He has not been running over people. Mutu's been doing something quite extraordinary in how dominant he has been with this flanker.
Uh-oh, this is looking good for Nocturns. That's 3 for nothing, looking to make it 4. Faenex will fall from 1 more shot from Crimson. Spunkki wants nothing to do with these Latin Americans bearing down on the payload.
And boy, oh boy, just like that, things have turned right round, baby, right round. That's a great shot after the Void Grip helps to serve it up for Leon, and I love the way that Nocturns have adjusted. They are not bouncing away from this one. They're actually bouncing right back into competition. It's tied up, anybody's game to win.
Damage being led by Nocturns. 1 and 2 goes to them. Shout outs to Faenex though. He's duking it out on the front line. Damage chart's not exactly telling a story in this matchup. We expect Shaolin and Leon to be ahead of both Buck and Androxus. Flankers versus backline damage dealers that can poke safely from long range, not taking a lot of risk. But you know that 84,000 damage, that 65,000 damage from Creatives and Mutu respectively is effective and resulting in kills.
And just dismounts there. Creatives wants to get the dismount. Less patient that we've seen him play. Good hook as well on the Faenex, and that's a bubble. But Fuzzy Logic, look at this. Look at this angle he's got. It's so much, but the resilience basically makes that Dread Serpent null and void. He's just trying to save a life right now. And as they go into the fray, as that song reminds me of that band, it seems like the music starts to play here for Nocturns Gaming, although that hook gets missed.
Not a lot gets done there with that Enlightenment. It's good!
Baby, touchdown. That's huge. Nocturns Gaming might turn this around. A presence as well has unfolded that Leon is really turning this one right here into her homestead. The scion of House Aiko becomes the scion of maybe game 2 with that play.
That means he's reset. 50% is his starting square for 62 now on the Etaceh ultimate. Mutu is hungry. He is pissed that he just lost that fight. He comes ripping in and finds the first frag.
He got Fuzzy Logic. Can he get creative? The Void Grip again does it through time and space. Doesn't find anything. Will Mutu go down? He just charged up that reversal. He's going to dash away. They've got to be careful. Navi finding some answers. Nocturns Gaming now looking depleted. Have to back up.
Mutu comes in with literal seething hatred, a loadout card, both that he is using and playing to the name of. He comes in, gets 2 critical frags, commands the attention of that fight. This guy just takes over the game with this champion.
Now there is a Buck Wild. Oh, and that's going to be used right now, but nothing happens. Fuzzy Logic wins that 1v1, and that is so crucial. He's dead to rights. Void Grip here. Hey, how's resilience for you? Spunkki's going to find out real soon as that Dread Serpent didn't get all that he wanted. Nice Warder's Field there coming through as well from Inara, but I don't think it's enough.
It's going to have to be the ultimate going big from Fuzzy Logic. 2 for 2.
That's
this
it,
could still go either way. Saadhak duking out. Creatives gets the bubble, but the Hexifire's got got other plans.
I don't see him getting through. I think Nocturns are going to take it. Nice hook as well. I think this is it. Latin America. Hola, amigo.
Viva la Nocturns. They're going to take game 2, tie this one up, and show that even gods can bleed. The God Slayer having hell of a game, but Na'Vi, they're going to take a back seat in game number 2. Best foot forward. Nocturns show us why.
I think we can officially say this is for real. There's no joke. There's no weird meta. There's no Virtus Pro is missing somebody. Oh, you know, at this day and age, at this stage, excuse me, we have to just say that Nocturns are at the caliber of these European teams at this event.
No longer smiling. Opposite on Nocturns. Laser focused.
They got a job to do.
Popping off. They know they got a long road ahead. They've had a hard tournament, one of the harder bracket runs here. But they march ever forward, unbroken. The vitality of the Latin American people reflected in their attitude.
I mean, and that is one of the things that I love about this too. I mean, what a lovely place to be.
What a culture.
I've spent months in Chile and Argentina and all over traveling in Latin America. It's just one of my favorite places, and the people are so warm and inviting and so passionate. And that's one of the things I think leads through these guys. But one thing that separated Nocturns, I think, from just bland passion, just outpouring of passion, it's the passion contained. It's the restrained kind of awareness that, yes, we are passionate, but now we also have a job to do. We have business to get done. Here's a tactical maneuver. Fuzzy Logic breaking out the hair. Good-looking guy right there.
Little Borky.
And now the Borker's coming into play.
As G2 fall by proxy, LATAM have taken up the battle standard of all the fallen regions, as they are now the final international team in this composition. The 3 others remaining, all EU.
Not quite the most talked about here, especially since Latin America and North America have been
Was
so
that the
limited.
ambulance carrying G2 out of the building?
I think that might have been. They looked angry. How hot was that Leon play? The grace into the wall that went down. Like the timing of this one right here, so
I love
perfect.
this.
The wall pops down. I mean, I get hyped every time I see it because he dodges the hyper beam as well.
Is that Faenex's fault? Is that an expiring wall, or is that? I think that's, honestly, that might be Unbe calling, drop it, drop it, drop it. He drops it, and what does he see?
Peekaboo.
The Latin American nightmare primed and ready to rip his face off with a shot.
Now, let me ask
from
you.
the Royal Rifle.
What would happen? Because I think it would just stop right there. If part of it clipped that wall, would the whole projectile? Would it stop? Yeah. I mean, I think he couldn't have had the angle of the wall that dropped.
It does not penetrate shields or deployable walls, things like that. Things that are going to stop other projectiles are, in fact, going to stop Leon's ultimate. It's fast and it's big, but at its core, it is a projectile. It does not hit scan like the rest of her kit.
It's just so wide.
It is a big
one.
one.
Say that maybe there would have been an angle. I don't think so. Watching that tape back, looks like the only way that turned into that kill ended up being because that wall dropped. So
I mean,
thank
a
the
Nara wall
heavens, or
lasts
thanks Faenex.
a long time. And
Yeah.
I gotta think that it's Unbe right there calling for you to drop it.
The timing's too weird.
It wouldn't
right?
be. It wouldn't be
right
Faenex
when the whole hyper beam comes out. It's too weird for it to drop right there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Faenex looking at that situation and being like, oh, this is a good time to drop the wall. It had to be Faenex was looking at something else and then just hearing that call, drop the wall, and he hits Q and moves on with his day.
I mean, he could also just be here and drop the wall, staring right at it, and all of a sudden, then he hears Enlightenment and says, oops.
But it was winding up while the wall was up.
Yeah.
And it went down at almost the perfect instant.
I mean, it's just, you know, when you're an auditory guy or when you're not auditory, sometimes selective hearing, you're listening to your comms.
I don't know. That's tough, though, right? Because then you get into when a teammate is making a call.
Are you not entertained?
Do I not?
Even if you have,
because you have to do it right away. You can't not.
It's no hesitation, but it's also Faenex saying, I have information he doesn't.
Bringing out the big guns.
I need to maybe supersede this call, whatever.
Well,
crying over spilt milk at this point. We're ready to get into the next draft. Bomb King Makoa banned out.
And now Ruckus and Talus picked up. This is something that, I mean, this is why I think Nocturns have been what they've done. They have a command not only of skill, not only of synergy as a full team, but they understand the meta and they understand the drafting and they can play what Na'Vi have been playing. The only thing I haven't seen Na'Vi struggle with when they get it is the Mave. The Mave has been that X factor for me that, you know, no one has had an answer for quite yet.
Possibility, as well as Buck, the only DPS locked in for Na'Vi. Both Mutu and Creatives can play it. That's just one other thing, one other, you know, chip in the pile, drop in the bucket that makes Natus Vincere so scary is you never really know where they're going, what they're looking for until they lock it in.
Well, now we'll see how Natus Vincere bounce back, excuse me. This is their only, you could say, maybe real loss, considering the Sky pick was one of their losses as well.
Look at this. This is the ritual, the pregame ritual from Mutu. Eyes closed.
Praying to the Shadow Realm.
Actually micro-napping in his chair, visualizing the Shadow Realm, where he's going to send Nocturns. He had a great game, man.
Visualizing the Shadow Realm,
Win
where he's
or
going
you
to send
die.
Nocturns.
There is no middle ground.
I have chosen very special
I chose this very special place
Shadow Realm for you.
for people to go. I would like Leon there, Talus maybe too. Definitely Fernando. I got a little Spanish there in that one.
Well, you were talking about Fernando.
I sure was. The spicy Spaniard picked up. Good pick for Nocturns. Draft's looking pretty good so far. Makoa Bomb King Band this time around. Grak's going to play a big part of this Na'Vi draft, as well as the Shaolin taken last. I wonder if that's more of a reactionary pick, especially in response to how well Fuzzy Logic made recurve Shaolin work.
He did indeed. They've gone for a Talus that's been a pretty premier pick for both Na'Vi and hell, everyone else in the tournament that can run it. Most people, you can or you don't make it very far at the very least. Compositions from both sides. Natus Vincere solo Torvald frontline against Ruckus and Fernando. Will Na'Vi have what it takes to punch through those frontliners? It's going to be a wrecker from Shaolin for sure. And on a close map that doesn't require you to be very exposed like Jack Falls, I think it's definitely plausible.
So much synergy on the side of Nocturns. It's hard not to root for these guys right now. Desert Shadow will be selected for Creatives. And we'll see the Faustian Bargain, which is such a cool play style, finally coming into the limelight here. Allows you to place your Rune of Travel, and then if you don't want to, not have to travel back. It doesn't force you to go back to that location, and you can basically keep all the cool things you have while you're using that Rune of Travel, like movement speed, if you want to. So it really gives more playability, trickability to the player as it starts out. Etaceh fighting with Faenex on the right side, trying to poke out this Grok, and First Blood goes to Creatives very early.
It's been the story of, I think, every game so far. Creatives with an early First Blood of some form or fashion. Ruckus in some trouble. Saadhak will fall after him. Staggered kills coming through for Natus Vincere. It's going to result in a lot of map control with just a few lives claimed. Etaceh falls 10 seconds after his former teammate, who fell 10 seconds after the teammate before that.
Yeah.
That's 3 kills. And it's looking like a clean first capture for Na'Vi.
Now they've got a touch here, Nick. If they can, I don't even know if
Did
they
he
can.
even?
He did it, Na'Vi, with a commanding start to this game. And we were watching a lot of kind of the behind. It almost felt like that voyeur perspective. We didn't really see any action there, which meant that a lot of it happened just so fast. And it happened on a very specific part of the battlefield. And to me, that says that Nocturns were just not grouped up, and Na'Vi really just had the upper hand.
Frankly, both teams with a good composition. Creatives, if he has a big game, they're not going to have any trouble dealing with this double frontliner. Especially, look how well they've done it early on.
Wow.
Typically, we would expect a team. What is Kate doing there? He got caught looking for a moment. He's in a corner. No vertical mobility. Leon putting time out.
I think they know something's horribly, horribly wrong right now, because there's been nothing. I mean, we went from a great game, a win, to absolutely nothing. And this may just be the draft here, but it could just be Creatives popping off as usual. He gets into the planet, fires a couple of bows. Mutu finds Puleule. This is a push for Na'Vi in under 3 minutes.
Jeez, that's a whole new story being told at the moment. Faenex, it's Grok. Double kill. It's landing shock bolts and everything, and it's almost eerie. Just no signs of life from Nocturns Gaming in that round.
It's odd.
Crushing loss. Best of 7, tied up 1-1. Plenty of games to give, but you gotta make them come at some cost here, opponent.
Yeah, you're going to look back. If you end up not doing well in this set, you look back at this game and say, well, we just gave this one up. We didn't even hustle. But now, hopefully that start will be. I really want to follow along with Nocturnes because something went wrong for Nocturnes very, very quickly. And we saw a little bit of their perspective early on. Saw Faenex kind of battling on this left side with Etaceh. And everything's happening on the right here. We're just seeing Grok kind of patiently move, and now here it is, that buck jumping in and out. There's a Dread Serpent as well as they pressure up, and Saadhak goes aggressive, and they find an early kill on Unbelievable.
Taking some engagements at their own pace this time. Nocturnes not wanting to go out without a fight. Shock Pulse is raining through, stuns falling. Things are connecting, and this is another moment, another instance you can look at. Say Na'Vi 4 versus 5. And they're still not out of control of the game. Nocturnes didn't even capture after that first blood.
I understand the feels, man. He just wants that Grok down. Faenex has been doing such a good job of holding down that front line, getting those points. Everyone's fighting, and he just slips in, just like Jera last game, and says, I'll stand on the point. Why not? Give me some capture objective here. 72% good presence coming through from Leon. If you can find a couple more, that may change the deed, but Akate's been quiet thus far. 96, 99. They've got to get Puleule on there to touch. He's there, but I don't think he's been able to even use an Immortal.
And now he's gone. Overtime, burning out for Nocturnes. One consolation kill.
My God.
Etaceh is going to fall triple and not a quadra. As creatives say, let me help you out with that, champ. See, he's got you in a bit of a snake lock there, champ.
So what's going wrong, Nick? What's going wrong here? Because it's like a whole switch went on yet last game, and then it just got turned off. Like Christmas Vacation, somebody unplugged the power and the lights won't go on.
Well, obviously damage is going to play a part in all of these kills, and it's right there. I was wondering who it was going to be. I was hoping it would be creative so I could push my own narrative right quick. Y'all don't mind. It's the double front line coming out from Nocturns Gaming, but with Torvald, with Genos backing up one of the best players at this tournament on Shaolin, a character that deals well with beef castles from a distance. That feels like they're just falling like dust in the wind. Triple DPS is very good at dealing with Ruckus as well. Little things though, stacking up to create big problems for Nocturnes.
And I think this is, obviously this is Natus Vincere's map after losing that one. So they had this comfort going here as well. Through time and space from spunkki's going to find Saadhak. We'd expect this to end. That's the first Immortal I've been captured in terms of my visibility. And Nocturnes, they were 3-0 before. They defended, but not this time around. That was a 6-minute game. And Natus Vincere win game 3.
It is what it is, but you got to look at Stone Keep. That's Nocturne's map, and they fought tooth and nail for that. That looked like Navi's map, and they cruised.
It felt like the Grok just was a bit over it. Like every single person on that team was just too hard to kill. And I don't know if Nocturnes fought well enough in terms of their synergy as a team. That was the first thing I was commending them for heading into this. But then all of a sudden, it was absent. They were by themselves. Someone was dying early. They were staggered every single time. That's kind of unusual.
I mean, you look at the literal one moment that went right for Nocturnes. It's when they just kind of shoved up the left side. They ulted Unbelievable with Dread Serpent. They got the first blood, but then nothing happened after that. And that's the moment. That's like, and I'm not saying that's the key to their success, but you got to wonder, Nocturnes with more beef on your side, maybe you want to press the attack. Maybe you want to dictate the pace of that fight. That's what frontliners do. That's what Puleule and Saadhak traditionally have done so damn well.
And I think there has to be something talked about with the draft, Nick. I mean, personally, Torvald, Genos, Buck, in terms of tier list for Europe, that is basically as good as it gets. And that shouldn't happen. I honestly felt that a lot of what Crimson was able to do on the Genos, especially if that Buck is on the side of Mutu, or even creatives, is so important because that Void Grip can stop Buck, pull him in the air. It can contribute that amount of damage that Moldamba may be a little bit harder to do.
I think can't quite recall when they picked Leon, but I'll be damned if that shouldn't be last pick, because Na'Vi, they're just not taking it. They're not going to take it. They don't want it. They don't care. That is a Nocturne style pick. That is something they run, and maybe Shady Shades is going to run that, but he is long gone from this tournament, and
No,
Etaceh is to
Renegades are
thank
in,
for
man.
that. Etaceh is to thank for that.
Yeah, that's true. He was the one who put him out of business. And now they're in business, but they don't want to close up shop. That was not a good month of revenue, or a good game of revenue, so to speak. So they've got a few more to lose before it's all over. They've got 2 left. Na'Vi have 3 left in terms of losing possibilities. And now flip that. Na'Vi are now 2 games away of advancing to the finals, being our first finalist secured here at the Paladins World Championship 2018. And Nocturns have quite a mountain left, 3 games. Frozen Guard will be map number 4.
Good map so far for Nocturns. They've got you know, their ranged play. That is a staple for them. It's one of their 2 maps they've done very well on. You got to look for the sniper coming out from Etaceh. But you know, I mean, we talked about the draft minds of Na'Vi earlier. You know they see that coming a mile away.
Yeah, and I think that's...
But it's more of a question of how do they deal with it? I mean, doesn't matter. Shaolin, Grover, just Shaolin, a Kinessa. Hekate's going to run it.
And Mutu and Creatives have always found the answer. Faenex as well has found a lot of answers over these last couple of lands. As we head into the picks and bans for game number 4. Here versus Natus Vincere and Nocturns Gaming. It's 2-1 split towards Na'Vi. They're going to have first ban and first pick. Nocturns will have second 2, which is what they opted for, having lost, I believe. And so Bomb King will be taken away, and now it's time Makoa.
Very standard bans for the tournament. Especially when not any one thing seems to be bugging any one team. Those more or less tend to be what we see. Na'Vi, Buck, first pick, Nocturns. How will they work in their sniper? Because you got to know it's coming.
It is like a normal team, but with me.
But right now, I think you got to take Genos. If you're Nocturns Gaming, I think this is important because now the Buck can get countered a little bit. That's what I think was missing last time, and I expect a much less of a snowball performance from Na'Vi, though they can grab at this point the Torvald, and a whole slew of things are available.
Ruckus as well, but I don't know if I'm going to go Torvald Ruckus here. Because Ruckus, as it's not a solo frontline, obviously, but as the sole frontliner that's going to be out battling with Fernando and whatever, if anything else, from Nocturns Gaming, on top of the fact that Na'Vi just handled even that particular frontline lineup.
Your sight fails you.
But you got to think part of that came off the back of this man's bow.
And I do like this Shaolin. And we may see this kind of series meta develop between these 2 teams around Shaolin, where he is more prioritized than usual because of how well Fuzzy Logic's performing. But here with Ruckus, this is something that's comfortable for Saadhak. So Puleule, Saadhak will have what they want. Crimson gets a good one. Fuzzy Logic as well with the Shaolin. Will they go for the range? They've already got that. So what are we expecting Etaceh to play?
Strix.
James Tiberius Strix is fighting.
Might say. And that's what you got to expect. There comes the Grok. Similar-ish comp so far from Natus Vincere. 1 solo Torvald. It's going to be
Pray to your God.
Horse de Maldamba.
The spirits
They don't have a great way to deal with what I think is coming next from distance. It's going to have to be Buck and Talus working together to get in his face and involved. He's run it every time he's had the opportunity on this map before. Just waiting to see if Etaceh will lock Strix.
Bit of hesitancy here because their mid game I think is rough
In this game, you
in terms
win
of
or
range.
you die.
And I think that's maybe a smarter move for them. Etaceh taking the Leon because now they have at least some mid pressure. It doesn't have to be so far away all the time, especially to contend against that Talus, against that Buck, that Maldamba, that Grok, who kind of fight from that range on the point. And now, teams all squared away. Who you got here, draft-wise?
Na'Vi with the higher execution threshold for sure. They've got the double support, double flank with just a Torvald. I don't know, man. I don't know how, especially if Na'Vi get into the situation where they need to break the base of Nocturns Gaming, if they need to defend a long-range fight. They just don't have the ability to fight at range with this composition. I really, honestly, truly like Nocturns' lineup better.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, but I think if you're looking at Na'Vi, you can never count them out. Maybe they know something we don't.
And that's definitely not, you know, being able to fight at range. Not the be-all, end-all of this map, of any map in the lineup. But Na'Vi are going to have to play this map differently. They're going to have to force Nocturnes to kind of do their thing, I think, a little bit. As long as Nocturnes don't fall into that trap, they've got a good shot.
The drum pattern gets me going here.
Parumpa-pum-pum, my friend.
Parumpa-pum-pum. It's Nocturnes step up to bat. They really struck out last time. That was pretty surprising. A sub 6-minute game. But now they have a chance on Frozen Guard to change it all up. 4 seconds counting in, and Nocturns Gaming facing off against Na'Vi. Down 2-1. They tied it up last time. Will they tie it up again? Misses the jump. That's okay. He's still going to go, this time to the left. And they're going to allow, I think that's Creatives on that buck, or it's Mutu, someone to get this flank, and the pincer is not looking good. What a stun. Great implant there. And I love the way he finds that so clinical. It's a 5v4 just like that.
That's going to be a little bit of a hesitation, though, coming out from Fuzzy Logic. He didn't have confidence that that Impale arrow was going to result in a stun. Works very similar to On Her, if you're familiar with Smite, watching alongside us. They get knocked back into a wall. They're going to result in a stun. Mutu with a big kill on the Crimson.
Good healing. But Natus Vincere, even with that, get 36% of the objective. Just the space that was being controlled by that buck. And we saw Fuzzy Logic do this as well. They're expecting it, but I don't know if they're doing enough to disengage away from it, because that space is literally just resulting in capture for Na'Vi, now at 81%.
Can they contest?
Gotta make a
Nocturnes
move.
have been struggling to get in and involved, hitting the gas pedal. Mutu not worried about taking that fight, but maybe he should have been, because Fuzzy Logic has deleted 2 members of Natus Vincere.
That's incredible. Good stuff from Fuzzy Logic, and now they've got 3. If they can get 1 here before they get grouped up as 5, that's going to be important. They've got the zone. Etaceh controlling the left side. Puleule is just so isolated for me. And the ultimates are not ready quite yet. Through time and space is about 14% away. If he can get that charged up, that may make a difference. They need a big play. Someone on Na'Vi or Nocturnes is going to have to step up.
Nobody's zoning on Nocturnes, so those 2 picks that they got didn't result in much. Tempest comes roaring back in. Na'Vi with control. They lose Puleule, but Crimson evens the footing.
That's what we were looking for. There's enlightenment. Na'Vi getting taken down by 2 ultimates. Double kill from Creatives, though. Triple kill. Quadra kill from Creatives. And Nocturns Gaming go to sleep.
Just too easy at that point. He one-tapped all of those fools in the back line. Nocturnes
Fools.
couldn't do enough with the picks that they got. They definitely got them. It was a 2-for-1 trade overall. But it's coming back to that theme over and over again. Even when on unfavorable trades, Natus Vincere are not losing enough map control that they've not even worked that hard to get. Nocturnes not playing with a ton of confidence, not pushing their opponents back when they do have an advantage, small as it may be.
And that's the difference. However, we have seen them defend pretty well. If they could go 1-1 and then get it back, they have a chance. But Na'Vi don't want to let their foot off the gas. 6 streak here for Creatives as he's looking maybe for a good target. Crimson's low. He's almost in a lethal range, and he knows that. Has to route of travel back, but he was so close to getting that kill there as Etaceh misses on the Enlightenment, but has found Faenex earlier and thus able to push them back.
125 on the clock. Nocturnes just 1 ultimate. They used a couple to get what crown they currently have, and this is where I have questions about this Na'Vi draft. How are they going to break this? And Nocturnes, you got to ask, where are they going to hold from? Because they obviously have the ability to fight at great range. But pushing out as far as they are right now, and now they're starting to fall back into a little bit more defensive positioning. If these tanks get picked out, exposed away from the base, that could spell trouble for Nocturnes, and that could spell the way that Natus Vincere look to break the base with this very short-range composition.
Interesting decision for Fuzzy Logic to take the low ground here. Shaolin usually loving that high ground to be able to just see up and over everyone, and as they approach, he's going to kind of get jumped on here. doesn't have much room to mess around with. There's a lot of low members. Creatives can pick this off. This is a very possible situation. The shield comes up, but he's going to get melted through, and this is what I mean about talent. He's just so good right now. And look at that. Blitz upper gives him the double kill, pauses to think about it, maybe snap a photo, but Saadhak slows the roll as he takes down Creatives. They've got to get to the point, though. Oh, my God, what a late contest.
They've got to slow the roll of that payload. Faenex, he's nodding. He's getting amped. Doesn't mean the set, but Na'Vi continuing to roll forward. This is not their map pick. There's 2, there's 3, and an easy 4. A couple shells loaded into the gun. Pulls the trigger. Does what he needs to do. Na'Vi, this is Nocturne's map pick, like I mentioned. It's loser's pick from here on out in the set. And it looks like Nocturnes, if they don't get it together, they'll at least choose the next map.
Yeah, they'll at least choose the next map.
That's something.
Not something to look forward to, especially if that would mean match point. Na'Vi able to move on into the finals. Whoever wins, these teams have both competed incredibly well throughout this tournament. And this is a best of 7 for those watching. So you've got to get to 4. It's 2-0 right now in terms of the points in this specific game.
Spotted out. They know where Creatives is. True Power comes out.
Oh,
and,
boy.
That's a shotgun.
Good stuff there. And that Hyper Beam actually is going to be a bad call by Unbelievable. One of the rare mistakes we'll see him make is Exifier does win that trade out. And now it looks like Mutu is going to go low. They're going to find a kill there. This is the weirdest point fight I think Na'Vi have made. But Crimson with a wonderful through time and space is going to capitalize on it all. They didn't have any capture objective and now finally fully wipe. And maybe that's just been their strategy all along, Nick, but this is really the only time it's worked.
Shoot, Puleule, give us a burst. Knock them off their horses. You've got comeback mechanic. If you do that, that's going to prevent the contest in any way, shape, or form. And Nocturnes playing a little scared.
Not very confident, you could tell. Na'Vi have definitely impressed them in terms of their skill, but Nocturnes still get that objective. They keep this game alive. It is 2-1 now. Nocturnes will be advancing on the push. They've got 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and if they can get one early kill, that'll be huge.
They're working with it right now, making it happen, trying to hang on, Etaceh, and they're making great plays, but it's taking a lot. Comeback mechanic and a great fight. Nocturnes will get their first chance at an offense on their map selection, Frozen Guard. Game 4 of this best of 7 first semifinal. These teams fighting for a spot in the finals of the PWC.
And I mean, good stuff from Faenex, right? Making it work. He's running Maelstrom Grok. This is not that sustained Grok, even though Grok has a ton of sustain built into him. But it's not that Wraith Grok that we know from the current patches. It's not that type of healing totem Grok. I mean, he's just out there doing damage. He can die, but he's doing a great job of using those cooldowns, rotating, being a nuisance, getting out of tough problems, and distracting, I think, which is what every single player on the side of Natus Vincere can do. They buy time. They buy time in a very interesting way for each other.
Natus Vincere ultimate starting to stack up. Nocturne, same story there. This one could blow wide open in any direction. With a minute 12, this is kind of prime time for those second round of ultimates to be coming through for a round. But Nocturne's playing a little scared. I don't know if they'll be exactly clamoring at the chance to commit ultimates. Just kidding. Etaceh is going to rip through with an enlightenment just to stay alive, though.
But that was good. That was good because he does stay alive, and now Puleule finds that kill on the Unbe. Mutu, though, gets Saadhak. Yet they have a chance to maybe do something here. Mutu's got the Fastia bargain, so he doesn't have to go back unless he wants to. He'll get that extra healing if need be, and he will go down thanks to Crimson. Etaceh finds Creatives, and I can't tell you how much of a difference I think it is to have Crimson on Genos. When he plays that champion, he's contributing so many more kills overall.
Newest member of that Nocturnes roster, the support player, picking him up just before DreamHack, and that was a long time ago. This is a stark roster. Just like Na'Vi is, they've made, very few adjustments to their roster over the course of their lifetime, banging their head against the wall, but Nocturne's never even making a dent in an international land, and now they find themselves in the semifinals.
I mean, if you're a Nocturnes fan, this is obviously so unbelievable in terms of what has gone down. A fantastic Hyper Beam almost gets that full reset, but look at that Tempest. That is crazy damage, and now, the double kill from Etaceh. What can happen here?
Ooh, big shots, Creatives. He doesn't want to go for the Hail Mary to try and find this Shaolin in stealth, but the frontliners have fallen. Puleule is down. Saadhak is about half HP. Crimson's dead. Saadhak not long after, and it's just Fuzzy Logic silenced out of his planet. Na'Vi, the defense will put them up 1-3.
But you know, great opportunity for Nocturns to take a look at all this. And you see Crimson, through time and space, captures the Slither at the perfect moment. Gets the double kill. I'd be curious to see how he's doing in terms of his KDA, because I'm sure he's got quite a bit of those last killing blows.
Puleule doing his best on the front lines, communicating with the squad right now. He's played Fernando in a lot of his games. World-class frontliner too. I don't know what it was. I don't know what switch flipped, but Nocturns Gaming, I cast them every Monday in the Paladins Global Series. And they've always been better than everyone else, but there was something special about these last couple of weeks. This team really coming together and just playing on a whole new level. And we're seeing the results of whatever switch they have decided to flip.
And they've got to deal with it. I mean, they're backing into a corner. This is exactly what they want. I think they need to go take some space. You know, Buck is rotating to the right. You've got free range left side. I like that through time and space. Look, oh my God, Faenex is so low. They've either got to let them stop getting out of dodge, or they've got to put them in the corner. And as we've seen, sometimes Fuzzy Logic can do that himself as he takes down Creatives.
39% for Natus Vincere. Comeback mechanic for Nocturns, but they've got to win a fight first. Etaceh with one. Etaceh with enlightenment. Does he use it? No.
Wow, that's big. Saadhak now maybe trying to clean up here. Crimson finds Unbelievable. Will he find Faenex? He needs to. He does. Double kill for the support. This man is popping off, but here's Creatives. This is bad. We saw him do a quadra kill after this type of a play before, and still Natus Vincere, they just elect to take this fight on the point.
Under trouble. Brand's going to keep a lid on that healing for Creatives for now. 69% to 23%. Creatives healthy, eats an arrow, pops the recovery, looks for more. Around the corner he will go. Both teams kind of set back to even footing.
Oh, Etaceh here, enlightenment, and he looks to aim it, but it's no good. He stays alive, and maybe that's all he can hope to get. 93%. Now it's got to be Natus Vincere trying to win this game, and Nocturns have to stand on the objective. They're doing their best, but Mutu is making it very difficult to keep track of them.
Nice trade to the back line. He goes 3 seconds. Might need to use this Rune of Travel. He does, and actually stays alive.
Oh.
Crimson has his ultimate available. Evan, they have turned it around again. Nocturns, they're going to hang on.
And guess who gets the double? It's Etaceh. So, I mean, he doesn't get the kill, but he stays alive, and he gets 2 at the end. So he really does get, that's a double kill, essentially.
He's popped his ultimate defensively the last couple times, but life is more important than anything, especially in a 5 versus 5 team-based hero shooter like Paladins, because every life means so much to what your composition can execute on. Net worth
Look at
being
that.
led, and you harped on this a lot.
This is a big deal. I mean, now, you know Na'Vi has been in such the driver's seat, but after that next objective, the top 3 members just now, the top 2 members only are Crimson and Etaceh, and everyone on Nocturnes almost is ahead of everyone on Na'Vi. Faenex, that lone wolf up there. This is the impact of being willing to go 3-1 down and fight from behind. You only have to win those one fights, those one moments, and then you keep getting those credits to get you back in the economy game.
1:30 on the clock. Nocturnes, decent chunk of the payload already pushed, about 45%. Working this choke point here. This is the first of 2 really prevalent chokes on Frozen Guard. Na'Vi making an aggressive hold, and they've found a kill, so it looks like the defense will remain stalwart.
I like that word. I've been using stalwart quite a bit, but stalwart is fantastic as well. Natus Vincere here on a good push, heading back into Nocturne's side of things, and 50% of the way, about 47, so to speak, if you want to get technical. And 57 seconds left. Enlightenment being held on from Etaceh on the Leon, and Crimson. This man's been my MVP of the game. I think he's made the biggest impact, finally getting him on the right champion to counter what Na'Vi have been bringing to the table.
Caught out there. Faenex goes down. Na'Vi have that close range composition, so giving up kills at the choke point is not good for them. These are their best chances to hold Nocturnes have effectively broken the first choke Na'Vi with one heal left to fall back on, but only 30 seconds on the clock, meaning Nocturnes really only have one good shot left to give.
And I'm not going to lie, Nick, I think their best chance of winning is to let this be defended. Not on purpose, you always want to go, but if they get this defended, they still have an extended comeback mechanic heading next for them, so they can have that increased capture point. And they're better on the push. They are better on these long-range fights. I think if they can get to this spot, and if they win next round, they'll have the momentum, keep that stagger, and be able to turn it in.
Tactical feeding, tactical throwing is not a strategy often employed, but the argument you've just presented is a damn good reason to maybe start Nocturnes. They give it a go, the old college try, but not exactly willing to spend much for that offense.
And I think that's okay. Now they know, because the way they're playing, right, Nick, they're playing like, okay, let's back up, let's go into this corner, and let's wait. Maybe we'll get creative. When we get that pick, then we'll move in. Navi's already got 60% on the objective. So we want to then fully wipe them, and then we want to zone from there. That's a risky strategy. But if that one win can then mean you get that point, it can work.
It's all risk and really little reward. You know, you expend a lot of your resources. That's why Virtus Pro have kind of taken that philosophy of we're not going to spend too heavily for these offenses. We're just going to win the fight every single time. Because you can't win on defense, boy. You got to get that offense.
And that offense is turning into items, and those items are turning into easier champion kills. As you see the true power popping, goes into the stealth. He's going to go for enlightenment, and this time, Saadhak smokes him in the air.
There's a lot coming through for Nocturns Gaming right now, 3-2. They are fighting with everything that they have. Natus Vincere a little bit stunned because that play's worked out for them every time. Crimson with a lot of damage in the back line.
Fuzzy Logic takes control of that one, and now he's in the driver's seat. Saadhak gets a triple kill, and Ruckus and Nocturns Gaming are looking to zone. If they can zone here, Nick, they've got that increased capture rate, and they may just be able to capture it and push it in for the win.
Looking at Mutu, he's crept up. Is he going to pull a bonker?
I think they got it, man.
And dismantle it? Don't think so. One more tick, and Nocturnes will hang on. They put themselves on game point.
And how much better are they in this situation now? I think now this is Na'Vi worried. Because, I mean, that defense at this point, it is not stalwart.
It's a hell of a call. Evan Rain Day Rainer thinking in 3018 over here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a year ahead. I'm like a Black Mirror episode right now.
Is that a race joke?
No. Could have been, though.
What color mirror am I?
You're a White Mirror episode. And I think right now, Nocturns Gaming looking to just be a part of any episode. Hopefully it's a good one. Creatives here starting his own. And I think this is definitely going to be just a drawback right now, but this is what they want. They want to get a pick onto someone who sees the bait, the Leon. And then all of a sudden, if they're able to find that buck, get him out of the picture, that close range, that sustain goes away. But so far, Mutu and Creatives are just too dang good.
A lot of ultimates. Na'Vi fought very hard, and it was actually Faenex getting picked kind of out in the open. That split open the offense for Nocturnes. They were at about this position at about this time. Na'Vi have pushed out pretty far. Faenex, the most extended of them all. Big headshot. Doesn't dissuade Saadhak from heading to the back line and getting aggressive, but has he bitten off more than he can chew?
Yes, they have. They certainly have. And now Faenex is in a bad spot. I think they're going to get 2 or 3 members of Na'Vi, and they get 3. Excuse me, they get 4. That's a full house, baby, and it's coming down if Na'Vi aren't careful. Nocturns Gaming are about to go for the final push.
Mechanical legend on Fernando.
Oh, what a fireball.
Left clicking the crap out of Natus Vincere.
I heard heat does keep the digestive system rolling, though, so maybe that
Everyone's in the training range flicking with Andro. Puleule's in there hitting 360s with the Flame Lance. Hit him.
Hit him. And they've got Immortal as well. Got to be careful. Throws the shield up. He needs some help from Crimson, but he's not going to get it enough. 22 seconds left. Mutu is just good. Here's an impale that could make a world of difference. Nice shot. Hides behind an ice cube there. And hopefully that doesn't melt before they have to get into a fight, because his, what do you call that? I don't know.
And again, 4 seconds on the clock. Nocturne's nowhere near the objective. Saadhak, he's, again, giving this a very limp-wristed attempt at touching the payload. but I don't think they care. This will come down to one final team fight. 4 ultimates available for Natus Vincere and 5 for Nocturns Gaming.
I mean, you wonder how they turned this around. You wonder how they let this, and I think maybe what we're looking at is Hecate wasn't up. Hecate wasn't up. He's got such good ability to dismount with Valor, with Grace. He's got so much long-range damage with Presence, and that just him there, that DPS alone, I think was enough to slow their pace because his death timer was going on. I think Creatives had that big kill onto him in the backline before he went down, and that made the difference.
Does Mutu rethink his strategy of dive with true power? Look at the defensive itemization from Nocturns Gaming. 4 Haven 3s. The burst damage from Creatives and Mutu is just not what it once was.
What is this? This is a totally different playstyle. He went so aggressive there, and now he's fighting on the objective. Maybe they know something has changed. Puleule getting low, and he's got the Immortal as well. Doesn't want to pop it whatsoever. And there's Faenex now returning onto the objective with Na'Vi getting 21%.
It's just Na'Vi with map control again, though. Not much, but it's probably 55-45 in their favor. 42% as well on the objective. Faenex has been there the entire time.
Do you trust your zone, Nick? That's what they've got to ask themselves. If they give Na'Vi 57%, they know they've got to go home and go big. Through time and space misses. That's a big deal. And here's Dread Serpent and Leon running away as daintily as possible. Will not die, and that's a good sign. As Saadhak's Hexifier looks to claim spunkki.
Trading out 1 for 1. Cooldown starting to trickle. Enlightenment comes out. Doesn't find the kill directly, but indirectly will do just fine.
Hey-oh, this looks to be Nocturns Gaming turning it up. And now they've got a zone. You have to commit to this. 2 members of Na'Vi are up. You can control the left side, the middle, and the right. And if you're able to just get these dismounts, the game is over. But you have to play it perfectly, and you have to have some confidence.
They're nervous, Evan. They don't want to commit too much. This is a lot on the line. This is series momentum. Dismounts will come out 87, 90, just a few ticks more, Rain Day.
I think they got it. I think it's Nocturne tying it up. And they're going to go 2-2 and keep this thing rolling.
Gotta love what you're seeing from them. They're still popping up. They're still happy about it. Hugs all around. Forget the CSGO fist bump. These guys are up out of their chairs. Hecate, his team's biggest fan. Well, and he plays on the main roster. Can you do that? Can you play as can you be a cheerleader
Can you be
and
a cheerleader
starter?
And a main roster?
Can you imagine that in like basketball or something?
She gets in, throws the baton down, then dunks on LeBron.
That's never happened.
That's never happened. And
be careful.
I hope it never does. But you know, at this day, it just keeps getting better and longer. And I think we're okay with that here because this is the good stuff. Somebody's going to go to the finals tomorrow. And they're going to have to get through one of these great teams, Na'Vi and Nocturns Gaming. Well, what an amazing kind of, I guess, a culmination of that last one. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. They used my personal strategy.
You called it. I mean, you definitely took a little look into the crystal ball on that one. They gave I'm saying limp-wristed is kind of the attempt or the word that I would try. They weren't exactly chomping at the bit to get that overtime started. They leaned back on their composition and just focused one fight at a time. Let's win this one, win the next one. Very Virtus Pro-esque.
And I think if they can have this type of strategy develop and be maybe part of theirs, again, especially against Na'Vi, it seems to work.
Look at how even these damage numbers are.
I mean, it's amazing, you know, and they kind of slowly crawled their way back into this game, and it was 3-0. Remember, it was 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that can be part of their signature, right? Just kind of cutting it close. And I think, you know, when you have a team that you trust, you've been with for a while, you've played every single week in the PGS. I mean, those guys play a lot of games. They play a lot of tournaments. You develop that kind of bond that says, guys, let's trust each other. We can do it. It's going to be interesting. We've still got many more games to play. 2 more have to be won, and it's tied up 2 apiece. What do you guys think, Golden Boy?
Oh, boy. What a game. It's a comeback. We're seeing some miracles out there. I do like how Rain Day tried to take credit for the success of Nocturns with his strategy, but I'm sure he'll get one back at me later on. But welcome back to the Alienware Analyst Desk, everyone. Golden Boy here, your host, alongside Bitey. and Gormizer. And you know, we're getting close. We might be burning the midnight oil again tonight, boys, with the way these games are going, Gore.
I don't know if I mind it. It's a little tiring, but I like seeing the way these teams are playing. And even though they're cutting it close, I'm really excited to see that Nocturns is being able to keep up, because Na'Vi was a powerhouse coming into this, and Nocturns having the stellar performance they did today, and how being able to keep up with a team that, and it's another one that a lot of people thought was just going to be a little bit too strong for them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really great to see Nocturnes able to just kind of get their drafts together, analyze what's wrong with the draft, and then play a position that's conducive to what they picked. We saw on 2 of these games, the ones that Nocturnes lose, they are losing 0-4. The ones that they win, it's 4-3. So it's all about getting that draft just right and then realizing what they want to do on the field, committing to it, and finding that spot where they find their success in playing their game.
It's very clear that Nocturns Gaming are the real deal.
Yes.
Everyone was, you know, I think the conversation was that they're not really a serious contender in this tournament, but they are in fact the real deal. Just like the way we figured out the China Dream, they are also the real deal.
Yes.
And taking it to Na'Vi the way that they are here, a PPL team, is very, very impressive. So let's just go game by game. I mean, we did mention Brightmarsh, and I believe, who was it wanted to talk about the Androxus score? What was going on there?
Well, one of the things we had mentioned during the draft was that Androxus is kind of a soft counter. It's not going to be always 100% taking down the Ruckus, but he's going to have that advantage in that fight. And the problem I had with this is Fuzzy Logic. He loves this Androxus. He plays it all the time in LATAM, but the problem is he hasn't really been touching it here. He hasn't been warmed up on it. He hasn't really been playing it as far as I've seen. I don't know if they go back and practice after the day is done, but it just didn't hit the way they needed it to. And then you see what was supposed to happen with that when Mutu takes it for the first couple rounds of the next map.
And I think that's a great segue into Stone Keep, where we saw Nocturns Gaming put one on the board. And this was the moment when Hecate started to warm up on the Lian. You were stoked to see it happen. Mutu was putting in a lot of work, though. And Bitey, I mean, this was a hard-fought victory for Nocturns.
Yeah, this kind of game, again, they go down 2 points at the start. They just did that on Frozen Guard, too. They go down these 2 points, they analyze what's our weakness, why are we losing these points, and then they adapt their strategy and position themselves on these maps in ways that they can receive this hyper-aggression. Andy likes to get up and close, but if you're always having these kind of drafts where you've got the Lian, the auto-aim 2 hit for 800 damage, and then you've got precision, it gives you all this leverage to keep him boxed in, because if he can't get close, he can't get damage in. And I can see as the game went on further and further, Hecate figures out where he wants to be. He had the support of his Shaolin, which is another really hard counter kind of to Andy. You can't engage when his cooldowns are up. So it just let them play their game again. The Shaolin ults coming in clutch. And just overall, all these plays synergize in a way where they're just able to, even though it's 4-3, they're able to win it handedly.
And what you said, Golden Boy, I think was the 100% accurate statement. It's a best of 7. Something we got to see earlier was Nocturnes warming up. We got to see them take that transition into the point where Hecate is hitting headshot after headshot on snipers. We get to see that here, but from a fresh start. They got cold a little bit. It took a little bit of time to get from then to now. So reheating it up there in a best of 7. Now that they've gotten 4 games down, I expect the next 3 are going to be incredibly strong. As long as we go to 3, and with the way things are going, the pattern so far is not really in favor of Nocturnes, but hopefully they'll be able to break it.
I do want to mention, though, Jaguar Falls, you mentioned that they're heating up, and I do agree. Like, we saw Hecate start to heat up there, but things got really, really cold in the desert because Jaguar Falls was simply shut out. I mean, I think I got up to have a conversation. I looked, the game was done. And you know, like, I swear, people, I do my job. But that was just how quick it was.
Yeah.
It was such a quick game. And the Talus was actually the big story there, Bitey, because Fuzzy Logic just wasn't finding anything. What do you think happened?
Well, it comes down to, like, first off, the Talus, I think it's a little bit stronger on Hecate. That's just my personal opinion. But you also got to look at what he's trying to fight against here. We have a Buck, Genos, Torv, and Sha that Na'Vi was running there. And, you know, Sha's a duelist with cooldowns. As long as those are up, you can't really take care of it. So he's just trying to work into a Genos, lift, and he can't do anything. Torvald, silence, can't really do too much. And I think it just ended up being a little too much. And not only that, there was a lot of momentum-based picks. On that first point, I think Etaceh got blown up right at the start, and right after he died, another guy fell right behind him. So you're 4 men down the entire fight, and it just kept staggering, staggering, staggering all the way to the final cap. And it looked like they were pretty deflated there. You know, it kind of looked like a half a game. You know, you're like, man, we really messed up the draft. We're bageling here, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's, you know, they threw it out. It's how you get over it as a pro, and you just went into that next game, and even though it didn't start so great, they came out and clinched it.
Yeah, rallying back, or might as well jump right into it. 4-3 finish for Nocturns Gaming, but they did something very interesting. Every single champion that they picked was playing around Talus. How were they executing that?
They were doing this perfectly. Every time he ulted, it was Shaolin into the stealth, so he can't be targeted. Leon going into her ult to make herself damage immune so that no one's going to be able to hit her. And then you force Talus onto the target you want. And then everyone knows where they're going. He goes on to Crimson, he goes on to the Genos, just gets clutched up into the air. So you have to go on someone that's not going to be favorable for Talus, and that lets the rest of the team kind of swing around, set themselves up for the next fight, and to be able to eliminate him. And it was a really, really smart play. It was one of the things that I think they did beautifully throughout that entire game.
Yeah, also, it helped that you put Saadhak back on to that ruckus, although he was playing that in Game 3 as well as Game 2. It really didn't. Game 2, they were able to get that win, but you started to see Saadhak really amp up. Also, I want to give a shout out to Puleule, who was just on point, and dare I say, roasting people. Hey, you like that? You like that?
I was gonna say on fire.
But roasting people just
Roasting
sounded
people's a lot
like
better.
a little bit better.
That's 100% better.
Yes. So he was, enjoying a good old-fashioned cookout and just roasting everyone all over the place. I mean, this team has what it takes, but do you think that Na'Vi will be able to answer back here and take the series?
I think a big thing that's going to decide this is just keeping the drafts in order. I'd love to see some Grover. Anybody up there? But, it's just keeping focused. We might see more 0-4s. There might be a mistake in the draft, but we know that Nocturnes can run it back. They get the map choice if they lose another one, so it could be this back-and-forth slugfest.
All right, well, guys, it's time for the next game. It's going to be awesome. We're being treated amazing Paladins, and I couldn't think of 2 better commentators to just guide us through the action. It's Hi-Rez's very own Rain Day and Pretty Hair.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Crane shot. Crane shot.
There it is.
Hey.
What's up, baby?
What's up, Crane?
Come a little closer.
A little story about the Crane and the operator of the Crane. He's been so lovely. He's allowed me to charge my wonderful iPhone on the Crane all tournament long. So without you, I wouldn't be able to do all those great tweets. You would never see all the hot poses I'm making and all the good dances Nick and I got going on. So you got to thank this guy right here. He's been keeping it real for us as we zoom out. Epic crane shot and back here. I'm also producing. We got a great game. That's why I'm so tired.
He really does it all.
I really do it all. I really do. I run this whole company.
And you're giving Nocturne strategy, man.
I know.
Damn. Show some love to Na'Vi now.
I know. It's Rain Day clause right here. I'm just giving it out. Christmas only comes once a year, but not with me. Every day.
All day.
All day long. And you guys know that this is going to be potentially a set that takes all day long as well. We have gone 2 games.
What time is it?
And tied up. It's 9:05 here, 9:07.
It's about game time.
It is. It's about game time. That was a good one right
Thanks,
there.
dog.
You turn into Vox. You casting with him too much this weekend.
God, I
man.
hope
You casting with him way too much this weekend. I know Nick is done with those puns, man. It's only so long you can fill with puns. I know. And then you got another 2, and it's all tied up after that. So 2 games, 1-1. 2 games, 1-1. If we have the next 2 games and they go 1-1, we will have a best of 7, Game 7 coming out on lines to see who goes to the finals of the Hi-Rez Expo and the Paladins World Championship here, powered by INAP. And boy, oh boy.
It's been, at least the prelims and most of those first knockouts, they were pretty convincing.
Yeah.
Not anything going the distance really almost until today. And just incredible games today, incredible games. over on our Smite side of things as well.
Oh,
Some
man.
insane upsets in the console. They got these guys, Myth Gaming, come out of nowhere. So many incredible things happening here at HRX. But we're here right now in the X-Ball Hall, ready to get into picks and bans for this next game. Game 5 between Nocturns Gaming and Natus Vincere.
And this game does mean quite a lot. This tilts the tide, and we have yet to see Nocturnes perform consistently against Na'Vi. And let's just throw this out there, though. They have won the absolute most amount of games to win. Excuse me, I don't even know what I've been saying. They have won the most amount of games against Na'Vi out of any other team in the tournament.
True.
And that is important. I mean, that's something that's already a statement here from Nocturnes in Latin America.
Na'Vi haven't dropped but one game in this
This is a
tournament
hot
to
team.
China Dream
It
on
is like a
Frog
normal
Isle with
team,
some
but with
experimental
me.
drafts, to put it nicely. Nocturns Gaming never even gaining an international ring. Almost the flip side of that, probably one or two wins at international lands. Come in, get their first set win, turn it into 2, turn it into 3, and are 2 games away from making it 4.
This is where I see Nocturnes having a chance. Having this Genos against the Buck, that is a big deal as long as the picks and bans stay the same. But I don't know if it's going to be comfortable. This is really that test to see if we can do it better one more time. When you go to a 3-3, sometimes it's not really the draft that was your problem. It's just, hey, we needed to win that fight. We needed to do something a little bit better. I think that's not what Na'Vi are betting on. And instead of the Torvald Buck Talus, they're actually going to take the Ruckus Buck Talus.
Even without Genos, Torvald's still on the table. Longest he has survived a draft, I can almost confidently say, this whole event.
Yeah. And I don't know if Nocturnes Gaming are actually in the position to want to take him. Creative's rubbing his eye there.
He's got to speculate on what that means.
You have to speculate. I think that means he probably ran into a fan, loved the way they looked, and said, let me get some germs from them
Torvald?
into my mucous membrane. Probably not.
And it is, actually. Jinxed it. Longest he survived. Torvald goes 7th. And Androxus comes out to play. Only successful when played by that man known as Mutu.
Well, let's not forget, even though Brightmarsh did not go the way of Nocturnes, Fuzzy Logic had some moments.
You trust
Yeah.
us
Really,
and
really
are
did on that
unwanted,
Androxus. So I
stranger.
think he feels confident in the way he's been playing.
And you know,
This
what does
seems to be a
that
comfort pick for
say
him.
about this team when they're, 2-2, toe-to-toe with one of the best in the business? They are admittedly playing, we'll call it respectful,
Yeah.
very respectful of Na'Vi and what they can do to get rolled with a champion, to go out on a limb, not work, to get cut right off, to be able to go back to say this is the right pick for this situation. Fuzzy, can you do it?
Well, remember, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And maybe we saw Nocturnes Gaming, especially in Frozen Guard, playing it safe. That game went the distance, and it almost was like they knew that was going to happen. Now, maybe we will see some of that confidence. They've played them 4 games in a row now. You kind of know what to expect. You've seen almost every champion here being played by someone on Na'Vi. There's not one surprise. They pretty much all of them played that, maybe except for the... No, I think it is. They've all played those champions. So now it's like, you know what to expect. And the Grok, I think, was a great adjustment. But I have a question. Would you rather see the Grover here?
Serpent Beach, I don't think so. I don't think, at least for Nocturnes, it doesn't define them. They've done a good job sticking to their guns. Natus Vincere, it doesn't even necessarily define them either. I wouldn't look at any of these names on their desk and say that's a Grover player there.
Right.
Nocturns Gaming versus Na'Vi, Mutu, and Fuzzy Logic.
Ooh.
They hail from parts of the world about as far and different as you could imagine. Finland and Latin America. 2 different styles, 2 different approaches to Androxus, but the same champion nonetheless. Fuzzy Logic yet to live up to the legacy of one of the greatest Androxus players of all time.
And if he goes and plays his best, there's nobody's going to be able
Nice
to stop
jump.
these guys. Now we know how to do it. You use the
But
flower,
it's still not,
the
I know
tree
how to
on the
do
other
it, man.
side.
I know how to do that horse jump. I just can't.
Flank coming in through 6% on the objective. Navi so good about taking control over that first off. Shield comes up, albeit very late. Nice dash as well. It's Creatives going down. Fuzzy Logic finds a kill on the Spunkki. I think that's the point fight right here.
It's a good start, and he's got the Darkstalker damage amp. Fuzzy and the boys
man.
making it happen. Unafraid. Crimson finds another Nocturns. Wipe the floor with Na'Vi in that first fight.
Clean up on aisle Na'Vi. Clean up on aisle Na'Vi. Get someone over there. It's a big mess. And we need something done about it fast. I think that's what has to be going on in the background of Serpent Beach. Fuzzy Logic, though, can't get too confident here. Gets bursted down almost instantly, but makes it out alive.
Burns his dashes. Not a lot of cooldowns available, but Seething Hatred, the loadout card, being run by him. He'll get his reversal back in no time. Dashes in 2 seconds. Fuzzy with 300 HP survives for now.
But that bubble was so big, Nick, and that's important. Androxus is still in the fight, and he can duel either Mutu or Creatives. Mutu falls to Puleule, and that's a good Tempest, and now Fuzzy Logic able to fight into Creatives, who has to run away.
No cooldowns. What does he have to work with? A net shot will go in, and Fuzzy Logic, he steps up to the plate. Hekate's feeling it. Fuzzy Logic remains locked in.
He went in with about 60% health and went straight to the face of Creatives and just boom, boom, boom until he was done. There was only one man that was going to be left standing after that fight. Fuzzy Logic bet it all on him, and he won big.
I'm gonna let.
Can you miss?
I'm not gonna say anything there. I'm just gonna let that one sit where it is.
Let that sit where that is right there. Can you miss, please? That was just too good. Fuzzy
not touching
Logic.
that.
Nick, we talked about this. This man is going off, hitting even the midair accursed arms. Doesn't have the chance to get away, and this Torvald synergy from Saadhak is looking definitely good for him. Unbelievable. Mutu getting some action in, but you know, I gotta say, this is looking the reverse of what we saw in Jaguar Falls.
I'm gonna leave that to the replay, man. I'm not touching that. Absolutely disgusting play from Fuzzy Logic. I don't want to go near. They're clumped in a corner around a Grok Totem, falling low HP. Puleule, he's not going to survive that onslaught. Neither is Crimson, but Faenex has paid the iron price.
We are watching maybe a little bit of Nocturns where getting a little ahead of themselves. The crowd did get going there. You saw Etaceh finally stand up out of his seat, almost like, hey, all right, we're in this set now. We can actually win.
It's real.
And then, you know, they fight without Fuzzy Logic. They took a 4v5 there, and, you know, they didn't have Androxus. I think them as a team right now, so impactful, but without that threat, without that finisher, they are not the same. So they've got to be careful to really take good fights still. There's still a lot of room left to make errors. And there's 50 seconds left to get this thing pushed through.
Ultimates available, big ones for both sides. This could blow open either way. 44 seconds remain. So it's probably the last round of ultimates. We'll see 590 HP to spare. Creatives hunting for Fuzzy, and he is going to find home.
And he got low too. Fuzzy almost took him down, but wasn't quite able to do so yet. Buck Wild here for Creatives, and he's gonna find another one. He has not had a good start, but he has certainly warmed up after that. Nocturns Gaming maybe have one chance more at it, but Torvald's dismounted. I see Kate actually getting dismounted here as well. Fuzzy Logic doesn't have any decisions yet to make as his team is not quite yet near the objective. He goes on the upper ground, gets a bubble from Torvald. That forces Faenex away, and that's going to open up some room to the payload.
Big shock pulses softening up Mutu on the high ground. Into overtime they go. Jaguar Falls, this is the best place to start overtime from, and you can actually hold it here fairly well. Fuzzy Logic, he just doesn't realize how low Mutu is around that corner, and he is going to be forced off the high ground.
What a peek. That was perfect for him. If he hits this shot, it could be so perfect, but you know what? Creatives is getting low as well. These guys both are fighting off. Nice headshot there from Creatives. Takes Fuzzy Logic down, but look at this. Who else but Crimson setting up the big plays, and now he's got a through time and space call to make. Does he go for it? Wonderful bubble fight. Torvald, he's running away, and he's staying safe.
Walls will not stop Genos. Natus Vincere committing ultimates, but Evan remaining healthy. Nocturns Gaming continue the onslaught. Saadhak will fall. Natus Vincere with the respawn proximity advantage.
Do you go for it? Do you go for this ultimate? Crimson again having to make this big decision. Mutu has not gone down. They don't have Fuzzy Logic. I think you hold. That's a big one though, Nick. This could have changed the tide. Spunkki's got to look at the objective. Crimson is still here. What in the world is going on? Somebody take down this Genos.
He tries to grasp him with the power of the void, but Creatives and Na'Vi, not a bad fight. Not a bad fight from Nocturns Gaming whatsoever. but it's just that is the defender's advantage. The respawns are reinforcing that fight for Na'Vi much quicker than they are for Nocturns Gaming. And what can you do? What can you say? Fuzzy Logic, he steps up to the plate. 696 drives that kill home. Darkstalker and Luminary working together, and dare I say, perfect harmony.
And this is what we saw Na'Vi do. I even did a flavor of the week, actually an analysis breakdown. One of our great editors here, David, and he actually and I put together this kind of look in depth at this Darkstalker, Luminary, and Field Study combination that Nocturns Gaming are running. This allows Androxus to get not only the 15% from the Astral Mark, but also, of course, he's able to get that 40% from that Field Study. And look at this right here. Big time shots midair. Oh, man, that's a swing batter, and a home run indeed.
Field Study supplementing what Fuzzy Logic is cooking. Those are back-to-back 1,400 damage accursed arm shots. And ladies and gentlemen, Buck's only got 23 in the tank.
You know, and what's interesting is if this is Luminary, because I mean, I guess that would have to be, right, Nick? Because I thought I saw Celestial Touch.
You might be right.
On that initial part. And so
you know what you are. 696 is just Androxus Darkstalker going to work, but this fight is not over yet.
That's right. And of course, that Darkstalker gives you, I believe, 20% now in terms of finishing power. And Saadhak goes down in terms of the Hexafire finishing power, which is quite hefty as well. 90% for Nocturns Gaming. They can back off, but there's a buck wild from Creatives, and he's going to try and go head to toe with, oh my God, Fernando, but who shows up? It's Crimson knocking at your door. He's got two lined up right now, and he wants to go for him.
Evan, Etaceh, and Puleule, they are standing against all odds. They were so low, but bringing this fight back, Nocturns will never break.
He uses his Void Grip so well, Nick, and Unbelievable is going to fall. It looks like Creatives is having to force his way back, and Puleule is just taking a 1v1. This is a Fernando versus a Buck, and Fernando's just going to win the battle of attrition as Mutu jumps in, and they're like, man, this is a game for Ming. Get that Talus, that young Skadron out of here, Mutu.
Kate ready to hype up the crowd. Fuzzy Logic remains laser focused, inches away from his monitor, and wants to get those precise shots. Landing. Field Study making big waves, bursting down Buck in 2 shots as opposed to what would be 3. Creatives expecting normally to be able to absorb those 2, pop his recovery, maybe eat the 3rd, or at least get out of dodge. He's got the upper hand in this engagement. Creatives and Unbelievable with 2.
Definitely a nice try on the flick, a good shield as well. I mean, some really great min-maxing Fernando play we're seeing specifically on Serpent Beach. I love this pickup. And more importantly, I just love this guy, Crimson. He has made such a difference for me. And when your healer can get those finishing blows, when maybe your Androxus can't, it just opens up so much room. That's the wiggle room that you need so that it's not just a win condition on one champion.
Often doing the intangibles, it's hard to point out when the front lines win a fight, but Puleule undoubtedly winning that last one for Nocturns. He keeps himself, Etaceh, alive against Creatives and has the shield available to fend off Faenex, resulting in big momentum swings for Nocturns, and that's a great start to that fight for Fuzzy Logic.
Fuzzy Logic caught him looking. Now Creatives takes a little bit of a revolver's damage. Another headshot, emphatically sending Faenex back to base. Saadhak gets his name on the score sheet. Na'Vi, where are you?
Is that it?
They're done. They're gone. They're wiped off. There's 2 up top. Mutu's very low, and I think they're just waiting, Nick, to regroup. This is Na'Vi's last chance. They know it. They're going to play it smart. They've got some ultimates as well. Saxman crashes here, and they're going to use it.
Nara gets into the trenches. Hyper Beam comes out. Nocturns Gaming. They've got the Immortal, but they're just going to backpedal for now. They got a lot out of Na'Vi and only spent a little.
Nick, no one died. No one died. It was a shield from Fernando, a bubble from Torvald. That was beautiful right there. And now this 1v1 could mean everything. Another bubble from Torvald. They let this go through, and Creatives, stopping what could have been a very deadly payment. Combining with a lot of interest.
Through this Inara, Puleule's got a lot of work to do. Crimson's going to fall. He is left on an island. He gets a bubble from Torvald, and Puleule just will not let off the gas.
But I got to say, I mean, he got Faenex, or excuse me, Unbelievable, very low. I wonder if they want to touch here. They have another steps. They're going to back off. Right now, think about it. They've got 600 credits above. If we do take a look at that net worth, after we obviously see how Puleule is doing, we'll see that they, Nocturns Gaming now are a full tier 2 item. ahead. Basically, that 600 that you need to go ahead and do it. And look at this. This is even the highest member and the lowest member are still 300 apart.
And what a momentous game in this set. This is big. This is Navi's map pick, but Nocturns are putting up arguably one of the best contests they have across all 5 games of this set. And this will be the first time that they actually take the lead in this set. This is Natus Vincere. If they lose this game, they're going to feel their mortality.
Yeah, and it's look at this. I mean, 2 resiliences. 4 people have rejuvenate, Nick. 4 people. I mean, that's just those extra credits coming into play, and at level 2, nonetheless, goes up top and comes all the way down, and that's a really good Accursed Arm. And look at the bubble from Torvald, keeping him alive. A nice spray from Fuzzy Logic as well. He's got to buy some time here. He's got his dashes. A good heal comes through from Genos.
And it's Natus Vincere for the first time, and Buck goes down. They are conceding map control, and they don't get Puleule until later. My goodness, 60%. Nocturne's looking better than they ever have.
But true power still available for Na'Vi, so they're not out of it yet. Of course, Buck Wild is well used, not used, and they have a chance for that. Saadhak, a bad target. I don't know what he was looking for there. That was nothing. Maybe just a contest. I think that might have been it. Maybe to open up some space for the Inara.
There's a big Dread Serpent coming in. Have to go big with the Buck Wild here. The kills aren't falling yet. 2 for 1. It's not as convincing as you would have thought it would be.
Puleule is playing so well. Saadhak and him are conjoined at the hip, and it feels like they were born together, and it doesn't look interesting. I mean, it looks so interesting to see how they are playing, just like they have one mind, 2 bodies connected, 1 soul, and I love their way they're min-maxing this fight, but they've got to get on the objective now. Immortal not quite used, and he's not going to get it. Oh, he is going to get a chance to use it thanks to Resilience.
Resilience will buy him the time that he needs. Fuzzy Logic, critical moment here for him. He's got his reversal. He might need it soon. Dash is available, catches a nice run from Spunkki.
And this is big because UNBE now has to go down. He had to wait another couple of seconds. He punches him into the grave, and Nocturns Gaming have a chance, but Natus Vincere, they steal it, and it's all going to the Europeans now after 1 and 2 objectives captured by Nocturns. Na'Vi clean that one up and have a chance to win.
But we at least know that Fuzzy Logic ain't afraid to throw hands.
He ain't afraid to throw them
And that
bones.
just sends a message. I brought this big ass gun, but I don't need it.
I don't need it.
The Defiant Fist of Androxus will plant firmly into the skull of Spunkki, one of the returning world champions from last year's HRX. Natus Vincere, they brought it back though. Hats off to them. With not a lot in the tank and frankly the momentum against them, they've just made a pivot, at least in this game, an attempt to close it out here. Saadhak falls and the payload is getting pretty close.
They've got to be careful here, and they've got to get down there very, very soon. Crimson, keep an eye on it. But of course, they know they've got to deal with creatives. Here's the Dread Serpent. It doesn't find much yet, but Na'Vi, they get the victory. Oh my goodness. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
You could see it in Crimson's face, really. That one kind of stung Etaceh. He knows what they did wrong. We should have gone left when we went right. You know, that type of conversation definitely happening amongst those boys right now. They are facing elimination.
Wow.
A hell of a run they have had, but that was the game. That was the big momentum swing that maybe they needed. Na'Vi, you can see it in their body language. They're feeling better about themselves. They're moving around. They're smiling, rubbing their hands together, nodding.
Wow.
Spunkki giving a fist bump to the boys. They're ready. You know, they're ready to take this one home. They know it won't be easy, but they're ready, primed to do so. And Nocturns would have taken the lead for the first time in this set if they could have just hold on. But how many times have we seen that? One, the push failed, the defense. Push again for the 2-2. Nocturns, only one time were they on the back heel, and that was a blazing fast offense from Natus Vincere, just completely caught off guard.
It's because you don't really realize the danger, right? Because you're always offensive. You haven't defended. You're not really under the pressure of losing. And when you lose that 3rd objective, you suddenly are under the pressure of losing the entire game after dominating, which is a very weird feeling. But then you're also, you know, not familiar with the rate of defending, how you like to defend, at least in that matchup. They haven't defended at all. And so it was something that was unfamiliar for them, and it was all do or die. And, you know, at this point, you can't really say it's something that they shouldn't be prepared for, but Na'Vi definitely looked to have caught them off guard with the pace of that.
Mutu has gone back to sleep in his chair. And now he will awake, ready for game number 6. Etaceh and Nocturns. It just feels like that one slipped away a little bit before it should have. And the Wolves hungry for their finals appearance first. I mean, first appearance outside of the first round, let's be real.
Well, you know that Na'Vi are now staring a trip to the finals as it fast approaches directly in front of them. Yet Nocturns, they have all the control that they'll ever need. They can play to stop that from happening. And Ice Mines.
Cast them a lot every week. This is fine for them. This does not bother Nocturns whatsoever. Underdog favored map. While they might be the 51-49 underdog in this set, they go here week in and week out. They lost that game. They're going to take it to Ice Mines, where they know best. I can't stress it enough. Every team in Latin America attempts to do something to this squad. They push them to Ice Mines, and more often than not, it goes 4-0.
Well, this is about resilience, and I mean, you have to talk about the first comment that was made as this set started, that playing a couple times in a row gives you an advantage. But you got to think both these teams had a break. They both battled back. And now maybe it's fatigue that's being a part of why Nocturns Gaming are letting these little things slip. They've played already before getting into this 7 games, I believe, at least. And now had to play another 5. This is a lot of Paladins for even a normal person.
Into P's and the B's we go. Ice Mines ready to rock. Nocturns Gaming, they'll have first pick. This is their map selection, of course, since they lost that last game. Na'Vi up 3-2. Set point for them and looking to punch their ticket the first to the finals of the PWC 2018. Shaolin and Makoa will exit stage left.
And now I think looking at this, you're going to see Nocturns possibly go with that buck. I don't mind it at all. Fuzzy Logic does well on this. Na'Vi may be confident here with a draft that we haven't seen. Nocturns Gaming picking this, but we don't know how prepared or not prepared Na'Vi are. I wouldn't expect that they would assume to play Ice Mines a lot, but everyone's played it at this point so much in their history of Paladins, it just comes down to, do you have a draft that maybe can give you that edge?
Na'Vi, I don't know how much they play this. It's like they've been an underdog in Europe for a long time, but I just don't know I can't remember the last time I've seen them here. Torvald Bomb King comes through for Na'Vi. First time he will play it in prioritization here for Maldamba over Genos, one of the few times we have seen this tournament.
They just can't stay away from
Fernando
me.
picked up as well with that Maldamba.
Genos Ruckus is available.
I mean, that's something that's dangerous, but maybe they know something about this map in particular that's more important. Or maybe it's just respect from Spunkki, for Spunkki, about how he's played that small Damba in and out, as Crimson has played Genos now, I believe, 2 or 3 games in a row.
Cephacloud taught Nocturne something about Genos Ruckus on this map in their set
You trespass and are
on the
unwanted,
second day of this
stranger.
tournament, but they're gonna go for the Inara, the wall. Can pay huge dividends on Ice Mines. Big choke points just around the point fight. Not really so much through the payload push, which is the longest in Paladins.
I really like the draft of Na'Vi here. I've got to say, the Bomb King. What an interesting ban, the Shaolin. What an interesting ban here. They do, oh, wow. This would be
Covered and locked.
very, very interesting. It's a Terminus. We have not seen this at all, I believe, today, except from Virtus Pro. And we also haven't seen this all tournament, really, except for Virtus Pro.
Yeah.
And we have definitely not seen Nocturns play it at all.
This is a character that embodies aggression, embodies the will to win, the will to bounce back, even from death's door. His ultimate will bring him back with a bang, doing 4,000 damage to anyone caught in the blast radius. Final selection, the Skadrin, True Power, Deep Dive, Dismounts. The name of the game for this character on this map.
Well, let's be honest. There's not a lot of range on either composition. So at this point, It does come down a lot to that objective and the snowball.
Exactly. Think about how the last couple of games have been played. Neither team wanting to spend a lot for conversions on Jag Falls or Frozen Guard. I'll be damned if they do it on Ice Mines.
And really, if that Buck can dominate, he's going to have free reign here. Talus and certainly Bomb King aren't easy targets for him, but he can definitely hold his own in a duel, especially with that Grok supporting and making it that much more difficult. Those shock pulses, that Maelstrom style, Etaceh you can expect on that one. Curious to see, would you expect it to be Saadhak or Puleule on that Terminus?
I mean, Puleule's been playing Fernando all day, so you got to give it over to him. Saadhak tends to play Ruckus, which is the more in-your-face, and Terminus can't do anything from anywhere but in your face. So I would put my money there, and Nocturns Gaming, about as true of an underdog story as you can cook up. Never before with an international win, coming through into PWC 2018, finding 3, looking for 4th, and trying to find their way into the semifinals. Terminus, of course, with Undying, as is his nature.
Chain reaction for creatives. This is a big moment for both teams. This could be Navi's moment where they finally get to the finals. And that is sounding redundant when you hear it back, but it's something that would be a first for Navi here at this Paladins World Championship. It would be spunkki's 2nd time to return, and Unbelievable's as well. This time on the same team, able to accomplish the same goal.
Mutu locked in on Talus. Rune Travel hasn't gone down yet. The escape for the Squadron. The flank slams it down. Increased move speed. He's going in, but he needs to get out immediately. Pulls the cord for the parachute. And he'll have to concede to Fuzzy Logic for now.
Oh, this is quite good from Nocturns. They've got a lot of control here, but it's a patient play style from Natus Vincere, and I love the way that they're just holding themselves back. Buck needs to make a move, and they have. Now, it seems like they're going in that right side, and Fernando can control this so well with a fireball. A death should come at any moment, but they're all backing off, playing this as patiently as possible.
Puleule trying to escort Fuzzy Logic to the high ground, but it's Saadhak on the low ground that's going to find the first frag. Front line on front line crime.
And what a frontline crime it was, especially considering the first blood went against him. And Saadhak with Terminus says that he will not die. Not yet, amigo. No Fernando for him. Puleule holds the honors, and they had full, firm control of this point.
Right out of the park goes the King, cut in half by one of the biggest, baddest, meanest dudes in the realm. And he's trying to work his way to his wife, Inara, for some good old-fashioned domestic violence.
And at this point, it's all acceptable because, you know, they respawn. And it doesn't really hurt. They're playable champions, of course. And as they continue, it's nothing playful about this. It's all on the line. Etaceh, Fuzzy Logic continue the snowball. Look at this. Puleule and Fuzzy Logic working together. It's so awesome to see that. And I love the power slave there, reducing the slow and healing, hulking monstrosity, which is huge. 600 health back. That's more than he had when he got nerfed.
Indeed it is. Lacking in the damage reduction category. But he's been dumping charges pretty aggressively anyway, and that loadout card only provides damage reduction based on charges held and ready primed to fire. Saadhak, as you can see, doesn't exactly have that as a luxury.
And I love the patience too. He's allowing that shield to be much more effective because he's going in and out and choosing his moments, and that's what you need to do with Terminus. That Shatterfall can get you to the high ground, and his vertical mobility is something Inara does not have, and neither does Torvald. They cannot chase him up there, but guess who can? This is a good one coming through as 58 seconds go. But guess what? Here's a Buck Wild, and maybe this will do it. Unbelievable. And spunkki find kills onto 2 players from Nocturns Gaming early, though.
Etaceh, he's gonna barely stay alive. Fuzzy Logic gets one. Terminus needs to go big and fast. He's the last left alive. Ultimates expended from Nocturns Gaming. 38 to get him charged. Navi defend without breaking a sweat. Not a single player pressing the E key.
Etaceh building up some ult charge on his own there, and you can see that they're all just waiting. He has really bullied them into a corner, and I think this is important. Look at how deep Navi are sitting, and this is gonna give maybe a chance with distraction enough to get a touch, and this is bad. If they find one pick here, the chain reaction bomb is done, and now the grumpy bomb is the only thing they've got. Shatterfall here, I expect from Saadhak to get to the point. Nice hyper beam as well. That's defense successful, but you know what? It's an ultimate. I think they're okay.
I guess so. Not you know, that's fine. And that's the nature of Ice Mines, folks. That is the longest payload push in the game. Nocturns shoved it right up the gut with little to no resistance that entire offense. They slip up once, and they're looking at an overtime scenario for their push. You get one clean shot at this objective.
Nick, how many competitive games on Ice Mines that meant anything do you think Na'Vi have played in the last 6 months?
And I couldn't tell you.
Probably
The
you
PPL
can count
doesn't
them on
go
your
here.
Probably count them on your hand.
The PPL series, they're not long, so they just don't go here, Evan. None of those teams in Europe that Na'Vi face, you know, they're not going to be scarring their reputation by going here. It just doesn't get played at all. It's been a long, long time, and you said, that mean anything? That would take you even further back.
And here's the through time in space. Oh, he dodges it, jumps, and doesn't get hit by that ultimate and stays alive. Fuzzy Logic is still here to play. Now Saadhak is going to fall, and that's a King Bomb as well. All ultimates used, or at least 4 ultimates used there from the side. I cannot believe Terminus lasted that long, but both front lines will be there and go back to base, and Nocturns are going to have to retreat. If they can get a nice pick, maybe this is something. Genos actually caught out since Spunkki Rune have traveled, but 51% from Na'Vi right now.
That's 4 ultimates used for Natus Vincere, and nothing really used for Nocturns Gaming, but they don't have much to give the Immortal.
Red Serpent.
If he could have got it off, he probably would have, could have, should have, but he didn't. So Puleule will have another attempt at this, and Na'Vi.
The stun. The Grumpy Bomb stun. That pulled him out. He didn't have the shield towards the Grumpy Bomb, and he also got walled off by, I believe it's Unbelievable on that Nara. It's just so good the way they're playing, and it's Faenex, excuse me. Na'Vi turn things right back around onto the Latin Americans and take the second round.
Wow, and you can't let Na'Vi get the momentum. It's going to be really scary if this payload makes a lot of headway early on in the round. Normally, we'll see teams, I mean, I see it from Nocturns every week, you can actually hold fairly well from the point and the area surrounding it, but you need to win that fight immediately following the payload fight, and that is just not happening. Nocturns cannot buy a kill this round.
And this is not too good for them. Chain reaction instantly deletes them. This is no accelerant. This is accelerating the rate at which you go down. And Crimson, Etaceh actually very smart. They were dead, but Na'Vi actually waited a little bit just so they could be that much more staggered. Someone's got to touch this point. It will not be an even fight right now. Immortal needs to be used by Fernando. There's no other way.
He just absolutely had to. The shield went up. He took half his HP on his way out of spawn. Puleule, not the way he wanted to take this fight. It was a hyper beam to save the round from going into overtime, and it's a hyper beam from Unbelievable to slam that one home to conversion and put Na'Vi on game and set point.
And Spunkki finds that big kill on Saadhak, which proves to be paramount. And Na'Vi, Spunkki, Unbelievable. We mentioned they are this close, 1 game away from returning to the Paladins World Championship and ending Nocturns Gaming dream of trying to get to this final and be that first ever Latin American team to get a final of a LAN. They've gone farther than any other Latin American representative ever, and now they've got that comeback mechanic, Nick. Maybe it'll work out for them again as it did before.
Ultimates, again, not exactly plentiful for Nocturns. Buckwild and Immortal used just to try and stop that payload. And all it costed was a hyper beam, which isn't a high price to pay as far as ultimates go. Into the wombo combo, he will fall. This time, Fuzzy Logic won't escape with his life.
But Etaceh and Saadhak find a couple of kills here, and that means with the reanimate, they have full control over what's going on here. Nice heals. Oh my God, he is healing so much thanks to his own heal coming through from Moldava, as well as that healing totem. Unbelievable and Faenex are still alive, and now they're buying time for creatives to get back into the action. Mutu has made a huge impact, but look at that reanimate. It's almost used too hastily, I think.
Of course, going up and going right back down. Power Siphon's going to buy a little bit of time, but Saadhak not in the best of positions. It's a great stun from Crimson, but they are hanging on by a thread. Nocturns are against the ropes.
And if they don't get it here, Crimson, Nocturns Gaming could be going home. Puleule falls. Na'Vi are this close, 1 round away, 35% and less from going to the Paladins World Championship.
Do or die, Latin America. What do you have left in the tank? Fuzzy Logic, he gets one. Ultimates, there's the last of them coming out. Double kill from Fuzzy. It all comes down to this. Nocturns hanging on by a thread.
King Bomb here. Mutu goes down. Fuzzy Logic trying to be a hero, trying to make the papers in the morning, and he just may have done it. Nocturns, Latin America, they still have hope.
They will hold on. Fuzzy Logic, he comes ripping in. One of, frankly, few win conditions for Nocturns in these fights. True Power will pull Mutu all the way back, but it's an ultimate that will reap no reward. Nocturns are still in this fight.
This is getting interesting. This is getting interesting. Through time and space, Skirt tried to get away from it. Nice CC immunity there from the Tempest, but still a couple go down, and you gotta say, good reaction time, but was it the right decision?
Backpedaling for as much as they can. And every fight matters, every kill, every second on Ice Mines is important. Natus Vincere have just bought themselves a lot of time. We're talking 45 to a minute, folks.
Well, they're gonna hold here. And Nocturns Gaming, if they can do it, the way to really get a push is to get a kill. When you get that kill, you stagger them, you're 5v4, and you can just keep fighting 5v4. You only need one more kill to just have pressure, and that's what they're looking for. But it's very hard if Faenex, the Inara, is the one you're trying to kill, because she just is so tanky. If you can get a kill on a Mutu, especially on someone like Creatives, you can really turn the tide quickly. That's what Terminus is trying to do, and in fact, Fuzzy Logic finds unbelievable.
There's a nice little Calamity Blast coming out from Saadhak. Fuzzy Logic again kick-starting Nocturns, though he is quiet in demeanor. He is loud in the plays that he creates for his squad. Natus Vincere 4 for nothing. Nocturns will start the offense.
I mean, I like how Puleule and, of course, Fuzzy Logic are the ones looking to zone. This is it, but that little group of Green Berets that's going out on the battlefield to do the special mission, they have to stay connected to that main Marine Corps. And if that's going to be the case, I'd love to see it, but they didn't execute it well last time. Both of them died, and it turned into a full wipe. Right here, I don't know if they'd have a chance to have another go at it.
Working their way in. They've got Na'Vi up against their base. It's going to have to come. Sweat of the brow, strength of the back. Nocturns with just a few ultimates to engage with here, though I highly doubt that they are going to expend much unless it is absolutely guaranteed that it would buy them a 3-3 scenario, and even then, it's questionable.
That headshot was big. Actually forced the early Rune of Travel from Mutu, and that kept Fuzzy Logic alive, to be honest, because he had enough DPS to finish him off. Here's the recovery, and unbelievable.
I think, you know, Fuzzy, get in there. Saadhak, get in there. Get as much ult charge as you possibly can in these final seconds. Saadhak will fall. Fuzzy as well. Na'Vi, of course, holding the defense. It all started with a pick onto Etaceh. And they did okay. Fuzzy Logic gets to 88% ultimate charge. Saadhak on Terminus will get to 95. Here's the play that kept Nocturns in it and kick-started their offense to even give them a chance at that round.
And you almost think that, I think they jumped off. I think that actually was Fuzzy Logic hitting Mutu as he jumped off and said, we're dead. We need to try to respawn as a team.
Speak of the devil, let's watch Mutu here on Talus. True Power. It's up. It's available. 8 of 10 ultimates are ready to rock and roll. Mutu is going to be potentially diving very deep into this back line. You'll hear him before you see him, if that's what he wants to do, and it doesn't look like it is. Mutu will hold the ultimate for now, perhaps setting up for Spunkki.
Well, that's important to note. He's got the Rune of Travel. I think that's what he wanted to place here as well. Close by. Here it is. And they're going for the healer, Nick. This is a good call, but he doesn't get anything from that. The Tempest and the Immortal does get popped, so I'm sorry, but Etaceh gets a double kill? Are you kidding me?
There it is on the point. Na'Vi on an island. These frontliners have nothing backing them up. That's a 1,200 damage headshot. You didn't misread it. Fuzzy Logic again finding the damage.
I think I'm hurting on stage. That hurt. Headshots for 1,200. And Nick, they've got that extra comeback advantage right now. They're capturing at a faster rate. Na'Vi can't touch. If Nocturns get this one, which they will, they can push this through, and they can actually win the game.
Nocturns, game point. for their tournament lives. Of course, Navi will not win off this defense. They're getting ultimates out now, but I'm saying fine.
Do you do it? Do
I
you
don't
reanimate?
care. No,
Oh.
why? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not bringing that whole fight back. You know, Fuzzy Logic, he made
Jeez, I was just asking.
He made some nice shiny plays. Of course, cleaning up a fight that was set up, in my honest opinion, by Etaceh and Puleule, finding 2 for nothing on even footing. Massive start to that fight, and of course the start that the Latin American fans dreamed of.
I mean, they're so smart. The way that they're playing, they're sending this like this duo Navy SEAL.
That's not
group,
even
the
a
Green
lethal,
Beret.
you know, duo.
No, you don't think about it, but it really can turn the tide in Mutu right now. Wow, talk about lethal duo. He just got a double, it seemed like, and
He's just one man.
he is one man. That Rune of Travel is absolutely deadly. Talus with that maneuverability with the Blitz Upper, they're going to take down so many members. Hopefully he doesn't get caught, and he doesn't. Bastion Bargain paying dividends.
And you know, you see that type of passiveness from Nocturns. It's really out of respect. I like to think it's hedging their bets a little bit. They just realize that their chances don't lie in a miracle conversion from 0 to 100 on Ice Mines. It's going to come from a solid victory on the point in the next round. Fuzzy Logic, he's going to give them a little bit of momentum so they at least have that conversation.
Oh, if he waits here from the shield popping off, this is trouble. Nice fireball, doesn't hit actually, but it looks like Etaceh is going to find it. And Crimson takes down the Bomb King by himself. This is a full wipe from Navi, and now they're going to have to get back, but there's plenty of time to regroup. Look at that stagger. I like the way Latin America are taking one out of the books of the EU natives, and now Fuzzy Logic still on his mount. He could get to a great position here very quickly on the buck. Already has a good fight against Creatives going.
You know, Cinderella story, they're always beautiful. Biases aside, I'm just praying for a Game 7 rain day.
Yeah, and at that point, you know, let the chips fall where they may. I think we all, as fans of Paladins esports, would like to see a Game 7. But at the end of the day, I'd like to see the best team win. And if it is Nocturns, they're going to have to earn it. Nothing is given here. Everything's been taken by Latin America. They don't want a championship for free. They want to say that they went out there and were the best team in Paladins. And now they have a chance. The Hyper Beam, that's not going to stop at all. And that's an asset that's not going to be used as well. He's got the reanimate. Do you call for it here? Does he go for the E? He's not going to use it.
And the crowd gives an ooh, but guys, calm down. We've explained this to you multiple times. Pay attention, classes in session. Rather than go
Professor Pretty Hair is
for
speaking.
a miracle play there. The respawn proximity advantage, even if Nocturnes trade out 2 for 1 twice, if they could get a 4 for 2, you know, you've got Faenex, you've got Unbelievable, you've got guys that can stall this push. Their spawn is so close. Nocturne's spawn is so far that even with favorable trades, it is just a slim chance that they get it through. They've got all their resources. Natus Vincere have all but the Hyper Beam items. Equal. Economy of the ultimates. Basically equal. This is a true team fight.
True power as is used by Talus. He's looking for the knockback. He doesn't throw the Rune of Travel, but he gets 3, and he's going to be low there. It's a bit of a risk. He is late to this fight, and if Nocturnes have done anything like they did before, they will have a decent start, but it's up to Etaceh to get there. He was dismounted as well, and so far this does look like it did go in the favor of Navi.
It does. Straight back to the battlefield, but a response awaits him. King Bomb comes through, but it's just not enough damage.
It's not enough. Fuzzy Logic finds one, and Saadhak finds another. Spunkki goes down. That's the healer on Navi. Nocturnes, they've got 48%. They're going to do it. They're going to take down Natus Vincere. I'd bet money on it right now, but guess what? When this is a betting game, you sometimes have to be patient, and that's what Creatives is making him do. He's still here. Inara hanging in the wings, but Fuzzy Logic puts an exclamation point onto the result. Nocturnes make it Game 7
You
here
gotta
in Atlanta.
love going in with momentum. Nocturnes, they've got their ass covered. No bonkers will sneak up to steal Ice Mines from them. They play this map week in. They play this map week out. And they've got the cojones to go the distance.
Los hombres tenemos los cojones.
Grande.
Grande. Grandes. Muy grandes. And now
And you got to say the crowd is feeling a little Latin American biased in here.
I mean, I saw three
There's a
people.
Venezuela in
I
here.
saw
I
at
mean,
least
come on.
3 people start to salsa backstage when that started to happen. I think production didn't switch cameras enough because, of course, they were listening to some music. They had to throw on some bailando. We're all really excited here, and of course, like we said, at this point, it's Game 7. Chips fall where they may. The best team, may you take this road and find yourself at the finals. But it's been a fun show up until then.
Boy, has it been. Kills favoring Na'Vi, damage favoring Na'Vi. But objective time, one of the more important stats of the day, favors them boys from down south in the orange and black.
Faenex, Creatives, both had their hands up. Unbelievable combing his head, looking at this. And, you know, you did talk about morale and momentum. I think that's a good point to mention. Yes, Nocturns Gaming now have it because they've got that win. This has happened again. We saw the 2-2, the 1-1, the 1-1, the 1-1. And now Na'Vi, however, had a chance to go to the finals. Nocturns haven't had that yet. Na'Vi have had a chance to go to the finals and lost it. That is a bit demoralizing. That's almost like a negative when you get given something and having it taken away rather than never having it at all. In a psychology principle, the way the brain works, that actually is more negative to you than what Nocturns have experienced. So they're actually probably in a better mood right now than Na'Vi.
I mean, this just feels like Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed knocked on the ground, bloody beaten, 7 games in, 15th round of the championship fight. Struggling to just get up off the ropes after that bloodbath. And who can come out on top? Neither of these teams, frankly, ever having great land performances. They're here in the semifinals. Both of them attempting to make their first showing in the finals.
I was going to say Splitstone Quarry had to be it because I didn't know which one was banned. I thought if that was banned, it's either Fish Market because you know Timber Mill was taken down. So it was Fish Market, Timber Mill banned out. It's Splitstone Quarry, the newest map in Paladins, the one that still has statistically, at least the last I heard, the hardest push rate, even beyond Ice Mines, the hardest conversion rate.
Can't forget about what Fuzzy Logic did here. I was looking so grim in that almost final would-be point fight, or the fight before when Na'Vi were up 3-1. I turned around, I looked eye-hold shift in the eyes, I made the sign of the cross because I thought that was it. But from the dead, Fuzzy Logic rose and made something out of nothing.
And you see it there. I mean, those last couple of point fights turned him from probably a negative KDA to a positive one, or at least negative KD to a positive KD. And now we wait for the picks and bans. We wait for the game that will decide the fate of regions. Na'Vi from Europe.
Yeah, Spunkki, no rush.
Nocturns Gaming from Latin America.
Supporting the front line from either team. Having to get up and use the restroom. They've been on stage a long time. This is the first best of 7, and where else would it go?
I mean,
but the distance, I forgot about Splitstone Quarry, man, though. This is a good map for Na'Vi and Nocturns. You know, I don't say that, I wouldn't say that they exactly have
they actually,
record here.
Well, they actually, I think they won on this map. I think they did early on in that set.
They probably,
and I want to say
they had to have
that it was
BP
Virtus
here.
Pro that they beat here. And they took a Fernando. They were prioritizing that.
They did. I remember that now.
And now I know that that Na'Vi and Nocturns probably, I don't know if Na'Vi this set have won on Splitstone Core, or this week, because they've basically 3-0'd, 3-1'd everybody. So they haven't played a lot of maps like that. But Nocturns have played and won on this map today already.
Na'Vi,
it was a 4-3, I think I'm hearing, from against Virtus Pro.
This is their map. This is a good one for them. They were the first ones to come out and make a statement here. They actually had a pretty miracle play from Faenex, dropped a quadra kill on Fnatic in week 1 of the PPL, which was then a big upset. Frankly, not so much, even more. You would say even Fnatic's the underdog in that fight. And how much can change in a couple months?
Well, I mean, I hope everyone's excited because I certainly am. I don't know what's going to take place. I'll tell you what. Spunkki is a guy that we've kind of talked about, and you know, I think Faenex, we mentioned him and his impact on the team, and it's because he has had a voice there are not a lot of talkers on Na'Vi. Faenex brings that, but the reason sometimes they don't talk is because they get tilted, they get upset. And there's nothing more tilting than having a chance to go to the finals and having that stripped away and having to play a whole nother game.
It's not exactly like that was a long shot to take for Na'Vi. I literally thought that was over. I didn't say anything because it ain't over until the fat lady sings. But she remained quiet through game 6.
And maybe this is payback for that Nocturns game that could have gone their way. That one was so close as well.
What goes around comes around.
But remember that one game. If they lose here, that one game that was not even a contest on Jaguar Falls, that will come back to haunt Nocturns. But what may help them carry it through for America, or at least Latin America, is the baby Barker there.
At least this half of the Atlantic, we'll have to bring it all the way over there.
At least, and some wonderful fans here saying their hands can be seen on the crane shot.
Mean,
what a moment.
What a couple of ding-dongs, you know? Who
Yeah,
cares?
some ding-dongs. Tweedledee and Tweedledum,
We
we
got
like to
game
call
7
them.
here.
We happen to know them pretty well.
Into the draft we go. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Game 7 of the first semifinals of the PWC. Late into the night, we burn the candle.
It's 10, baby.
At both
and we got
ends,
another
and we
game
got
7. Best of 7.
Another one cooking.
Oh man,
this is slow roast over here. All right, this isn't a quick sear.
It's a marinade.
Loving it.
It's a little marinade.
Hey, perfection takes time.
Get some real Hi-Rez hours right here too.
Hey, and we prepared for it. We do this all day. I ain't tired. I never sleep.
Well, how can you be tired when something like this is going on? Nocturns, they do prioritize that Fernando. Will it be the Maldamba? Will it be the Genos? Big decision here. It's the Genos. And this is map specific, why they want to go back to that. Just a lot more room to work with and so many more walls and places to hide behind. That heal from Genos forces you to really chase after him versus the Maldamba, who has to peek out into line of sight to be able to heal his targets.
Early Anar coming out from Na'Vi. And I gotta say, strategies might be going somewhat out the window. Comfort is the name of the game here.
Go ahead.
Nocturns haven't been super hasty to grab Anar. In fact, they got Terminus instead when she was open. Na'Vi quickly snag her up. Ruckus as well. They want to be comfortable. They want to have Faenex on that Ruckus. They want Unbelievable on that Anar. They want to be at home base and take this one home.
And I think Ruckus is a very good pick on this map. He provides a lot of peel, and we saw Etaceh with that sniper thing. That was the big thing, and what happened was the deciding factor was one duel between him on Strix and Cephid Cloud on Ruckus, and he ended up getting that body shot no scope, turning into the Talon Rifle sidearm and finishing it off and snowballing the rest of that fight. Talus and Torvald have worked well all day long, and they're gonna have to work even better today as Nocturns Gaming have only one pick left.
Grover Shaolin, I was about to say it, but I didn't want to cut you off. And
is it Grover though?
It could be. They need
That's a lot of snipe.
That is too much, I think, to ask of just Grover to heal this one out. It's going to be Dom Beasy. Game 7, Nocturns Gaming. It's all on the line. Etaceh, are you going with what you know, or are you going with what you know?
We got a sniper. Game 7, Strix. It's all on the line. Latin America's championship hopes. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but if they win this game, LATAM will be in the finals of the Paladins World Championship. This is something that has been unheard of. If you asked anyone in this room, anyone in this world, if this was going to happen, everyone would have said no.
A couple players kind of scattered throughout the room here. Seeing some VP. A couple members of Ninjas in Pajamas. They're sitting over there. Bird's talking to Stu. Bird, pay attention. Are you feeling nervous yet? I know you've been feeling pretty confident. Of course he's going to shake his head.
You already got a job. You already got a job. You don't need to worry about it.
Ninjas in Pajamas up next. They have to stamp their ticket. I mean, goddamn, one of the best rivalries in Paladins coming up next, but we have got some business to settle here. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 7 of the first semifinals. Make some noise.
Flux generator picked up. And you see field study, and what is it, crack shot? Yeah, it is. That body shot ended up changing the difference, but back to Nocturnal. This is a good switch, not too baited. There's about 12 seconds left. They'll see that. but he's going to have that extra stealth juice going in from Strix. And this sniper, he's going back to his roots. This is what Etaceh was known for, and
I mean, Evan, this is blow for blow. This is Nocturnes stacked up evenly against Na'Vi. Almost identical compositions, long-range damage versus long-range damage, creatives versus Etaceh, Fuzzy versus Mutu. First blood will go to Nocturnes.
And this is when patience does not help you, and they end up losing early, and that's big. Nocturnes find 2, and they've got to get someone on the point. Good. Crimson goes and takes the place of Puleule, who now on Fernando starts to zone out, and with Fuzzy Logic playing the way he is doing a great job. Is he going to rune a travel? Yeah, oh, he's back to safety.
Reposition, big plays from him. He retains his overdrive cooldown, very important. Changing hands is the point. As Nocturnes, they're going to grab a couple of more points before they concede map control, at least for now.
And now they've got it on the point, but Etaceh still free firing in the back line. They haven't found the sniper, but there's one. Unbelievable picks that one off. Navi's not out of it, not by any stretch of the imagination. Don't go thinking that. Etaceh hitting the shots. They've got to get up there, but Mutu can't jump up there right now, and Navi with 36% need to get some capture objective to stay in this ball game.
Ooh, a rare miss from the crack shot. Cauchemar, it's French, but this man's from Uruguay.
There you see Unbelievable again, taking the pressure. That wall is good. 87%, he peeks to the wrong side. Someone's got to get on that thing. And now he is. Oh, this is a good timing as well. And that's some of the anti-heal from Brand kicking off, and they may be able to burst him. There's a flashbang against creatives. He can't see. That E-Days is worth nothing. One falls. Puleule grabs Unbelievable, but Faenex grabs Puleule. Someone's got to get back in touch. It's Fuzzy Logic with that sniper. They need men on the point, and having lost that one, it's going to go the way of Natus Vincere.
And I mean, shots are landing for Etaceh. Something else has got to get going for Nocturnes Gaming. They won the initial fight, but Na'Vi, they got back to the point and they held strong. Damage blow for blow. Creatives lands an arrow. Etaceh drives home a shot from the Talon rifle. These two are even. That's a big frag from Creatives and a big ultimate from Unbelievable to keep it going.
And I think that's going to be the deciding factor, right? Who can get who? Creatives, oh, this is a big one. I think Puleule, oh, quadra kill from Mutu, bringing home the big guns. And he's not Ruckus, he's on Buck this time, but those big guns, they're on his arms because, of course, this man does not miss a workout. He is carrying a lot of weight for Na'Vi here.
Mutu, emotionless at times, but even he frantically communicating in a game 7. He wants his team to win. Fuzzy Logic finds Creatives, and Mutu is forced out of this fight and can only watch his teammates die.
This is a very hard spot to hold, but this Ruckus Faenex might be the decider, might be the difference maker. We've seen him make so many important plays. The Hexafire, so much damage. It's one of those things where when you're down 99 to 99 and you don't have that defensive cooldown, you just can't stand on it. It can be a game winner. Fuzzy Logic's going to have to position perfectly. They're going to have to go to the back line and deal with this Shaolin somehow.
16, look how close this payload is. Nocturnes need a fight, and they need it now. Shut down from Etaceh, but he loses his life for it.
But that's very important. Saadhak finds another one as well. Puleule's here, but I don't know where anyone else is. They're fighting him down. Fuzzy Logic needs to clean this up, and he does. But they've got to get back under the point because Unbelievable is still healthy. I think he needs to contribute to Inara a lot more often, and that will change the tide of this fight.
Stagger. Beautiful min-max play there from Nocturns Gaming. They're going to send a staggered Unbelievable back. He is just now respawning. He's got 30 seconds to cross one of the bigger maps in the lineup. But Nocturnes playing again. Respectful is a nice way to put it. They're going to let Faenex get real close to this cart.
Not very happy with that. Here's a seismic crash. They're going for it, but Fuzzy Logic again. And I think right now what you do, yes, you help with that, but then go to Inara. Just finish her off a little bit. Get her low. She's got so much health. She needs that burst from you, but they're playing it the other way. They take away the source of the sustain from Inara, and I like that as well. Fuzzy Logic knows that he just did what his team needed.
Yeah. Feeling good about it. Both teams kind of just nodding. Feeling good about that round on both ends of the floor. Defense and offense holding up. Maybe we'll see a flip of the coin in the next round. Spunkki, one of the rings, still in the tournament, looking for a second. Removed from his team shortly after claiming victory here 1 year ago. Built a new roster shortly thereafter. They've been banging their head against the wall. His words, not mine. And it's paid off. They've earned every inch.
But now it feels like they still have a mile to go. Nocturns Gaming have fought and clawed and scratched their way into this conversation, and they will not go away. It's an itch that cannot fully be tamed, and right now the true power goes for dismount, but doesn't get much there.
Find yourself asking why. Again, it's been a pretty potent combination so far. Splitstone is wide open. You can see for miles here. And it feels like that combo would have been great. Saadhak, he gets caught out into a bad spot. One shot on a fuzzy, realized danger is close. One answered kill, two, and it's a 3-for-1 Na'Vi on the point.
And this is not what happened before. Etaceh now backing off. It seems like Na'Vi are not willing to commit numbers to him. Mutu playing patiently. Creatives playing patiently. Etaceh was almost anticipating that aggressive style that had happened earlier, but it just hasn't shown up.
Etaceh looking for the shot that he wants the most. The wall goes up, trying to get the touch. Body blocks from Faenex are good, but not good enough.
And this is what needs to happen. Nice flashbang into the grinder.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? I can't believe Saadhak hit that. That's a 1 in a million shot, Nick, because it's so hard to miss, so easy to miss.
We've thought about it before. Fidget spinners powered by INAP. I don't know, that is too good of a coincidence. Into the grinder. Nocturns turn it around.
I thought I saw a weird INAP logo right under that spinning thorn right there at the bottom of that grinder.
We need some in-game branding, that INAP fidget spinner on Splitstone. Make it happen.
They're behind it all, and now Nocturns Gaming 93%. But Mutu is still here, and this buck is not to be trifled with. Natus Vincere, they've got control, and it looks like with Crimson finding the kill on the Faenex is only going to be a consolation prize as Mutu's here, and so is that Dread Serpent. Double kill. And it could be a triple right now as Na'Vi grab the second objective of the game.
So much in the tank for them at all times, and they still had more to give. A Hexafire from Faenex. We've seen and we know what that can do. And they're going to hang on to it. They're going to move out on the offense. Nocturns, they've never had the chance to make a good hold at this corner. It's the primary choke point. Though there is many following it on Splitstone Quarry, Na'Vi will roll through relatively uncontested.
And you just gotta wonder,
are they scared?
Are they? And what's up with this Strix and what is he targeting? It's not a lot of good options for him, but again, I really think that Vital is doing a great job as Fuzzy Logic, but you've got to get your eyes on creatives. He again has been a sleeper. He's been a sleeper for so long on Na'Vi. He's really been loud this entire tournament, except for this set in the last couple of games. And he's finally coming back around, and he is dominating this performance.
No one's really making big mistakes. It just feels like the confidence isn't there for Nocturns on this map.
Nope.
I don't want to call them too hard on it, but Natus Vincere, they get critical wins here. They get big wins here. They're looking to make their run at the championship here and now. Payload inches from conversion.
Oh my God, Faenex looks to do something here, finds a kill. That wall is good enough. And again, we see Na'Vi go 3-1 up over Nocturns. It is game point, match point.
Set point, ready to punch their ticket to the finals of the PWC. Ultimate economy looking good for both sides. Nocturns are ready. Akate's got a plan. He's been good. He's been fine, but that's just what we expect. He's going to hit those shots. He's not receiving much pressure. It's the rest of this team fight into the fidget. Just barely goes unbelievable. That replay powered definitely by INAP.
And you know, that was one that I don't know if he had back he would do again. It looked awesome, but it is, you know, a whole hyper beam. You get that kill, but that's great. But the displacement maybe is enough, and they're taking this one differently here. Actually, no, they're taking it exactly the same. Unbelievable now is aware of that, though. And he's got to be careful because this is still a frontliner who can do some battles, and that's why we were so excited. It's so difficult to do.
It is not easy to do. A lot of vertical lift on the hyper beam. First blood again goes to Nocturns, but we've seen this story before. True power, they want to end it now.
Not enough damage coming through. Mutu finds one. He hasn't been shot at all. Akate's got to finish him off, and that's a big difference. Good shot after the flashbang. Heat haze coming through. Natus Vincere, 48% and counting. Spunkki finds Saadhak. Will it be Na'Vi going on to the finals of the Paladins World Championship?
They're looking for creatives positioned aggressively. Man, you're not there yet.
Wall.
Don't make any mistakes. Ultimates, one for Na'Vi, one for Nocturns Gaming. It's down to the wire.
Through time and space, not enough. I think this is gonna do it. They've lost one, and I don't know if they're gonna come back. The Europeans have been battling the Latin Americans for so long, but with Etaceh and Fuzzy Logic back, no one knows. Could this be it? But it misses, and Na'Vi go on to the Paladins World Championship Finals tomorrow.
Not exactly even a crushing defeat for Nocturns Gaming. They should hold their heads high and proud. They made a hell of a run. Not the bottom seed, but the second to lowest in this tournament. They go down to the losers bracket first things first and make one hell of a run.
And it's hard, stunned expressions, hard to get out of your chairs, but you gotta do it. Life goes on. What a learning experience for these young men. What a accomplishment for them to come in and go game 7 against probably the favorite in this tournament, when teams like Virtus Pro were knocked out, when Fnatic were struggling, when G2 get knocked out, the winners of the last land. It's just remarkable what was put together.
The smiles, the sportsmanship. You know, I'm very thankful personally for just the community that Paladins has built. We've got a great group of guys here competing. Everybody loves everyone. We feel like a family at this point. A lot of guys returning to the stage time and time again. Nocturns, they have made a mark to never be forgotten for Latin America, and they have also, frankly, earned a great seeding for the region going forward. They have shown that they are here to compete as they reach top 4 at the PWC.
Well, I don't know if there's any more you and I could say about this. We've talked for hours now as that went to the best of 7 games. And when I mean the best of 7 games, we got the best 7 games we possibly could. What an incredible comeback. What an incredible performance. Hats off to Latin America and Nocturns Gaming. And congratulations to Na'Vi, who are your first finalists in the Paladins World Championship here at HRX 2018, powered by INAP. Let's send it over to the desk and shut it down for now.
Took it from him. I took it from him. You see that? All right, everyone, welcome back to the Alienware Analyst Desk, and congratulations to Natus Vincere, Na'Vi on their victory. I cannot stress enough how incredible this team is, and I am very thrilled to see this squad in the finals. And while it would have been awesome to see Nocturns Gaming in the finals as well, I feel like no matter what, we were treated to some exquisite Paladin score.
I am happy that I was here to watch that. Like, that was just phenomenal from both teams that came out. Like, that was insane. Nocturns might not be going to the finals, but they should be very happy that they took that to 7 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a real treat. You know, best of 7s are so long, so intense, and the amount of stamina it takes to function at that high stress, you're just, I just want it to be over, but I gotta win. So it's just digging deep and making that right decision every single time. It breaks the best of you down, and I mean, hats off to Na'Vi. I mean, showing preparation, stamina, and just committing to their plan the entire time.
Yeah, it was very impressive stuff. I mean, you know, I don't even know really where to begin, but yeah, that Ice Mines game was ridiculous. You know, Serpent Beach, Na'Vi was just incredible. Man, well, I guess we might as well talk about Serpent Beach, because one thing that you wanted to highlight, Bitey, was the Grok Fernando combination and how strong it is. What makes this combination so good?
So whenever you've got this Grok behind you as your Nando, because I play the Nando on my team, and Vex sometimes plays that Grok, the best things that you can do is he's got high damage, high output, and all this cool stuff coming out behind him. And what do you do when he gets in trouble? Well, he drops his totem. What can Fernando do? You put up the shield. So now you got this little damage bunker just sitting there, putting out all this force onto the field, and it's something that takes a lot of trust and synergy. Saadhak just carrying that for Hecate, and those two working together made some clean plays. I think that game really came down to a slip-up on cap number 3 where they just staggered out and they lost the momentum and they got converted on, and that's why they lost that particular matchup.
Yeah, we could have been singing a much different tune here because Gore, I mean, they went on to win Ice Mines in a very dramatic matchup. What are some of your thoughts, bud?
That one was just, it was phenomenal. Nocturns were playing a completely different draft than we had seen them run. That was the second team, not the second team, I think the third team to run the Terminus that had come in. The first non-European team, I think, that picked it up for the tournament, and they played it phenomenally. They were really, really pulling him in to the way they needed it, and they picked up the Bulldozer for him to be able to help get rid of the Inara. They pulled out the deft hands on the Maldama to get those stuns. Like, they knew what they were doing with that draft, and they played it to the note.
Yeah, they clearly had a plan. I was a little shocked seeing Terminus come out, but lo and behold, you know, they were able to take that game, and they ended up at a 4-3 scoreline there. And in Splitstone, Quarry, 4-1 to Na'Vi. You know, Bitey, any thoughts on that before we move on?
I think Splitstone, I really like Fuzzy, but he's got to work on that Talus. I just feel like it's not really up to the par. The mistakes that were kind of made, he just wasn't capitalizing enough, as you saw that Na'Vi would when they ran that Talus, and I think it showed a little bit there. But other than that, they played lights out as best as they could. It's just the plays were really just rolling in Na'Vi's favor there. You know, with a 4-1 finish, they were definitely playing something right.
Yeah, awesome stuff. But man, I mean, we're not done. My microphone wants to run away, but sadly you can't, little buddy, because you got to keep going here. So let's go ahead and check out the schedule and see what we have. I fixed my tie clip there. There you go. And the Borker comes out too. Okay, so the world we live in, Natus Vincere, has moved on to the grand finals, which will be played tomorrow in the arena. But coming up next, it's going to be an EU clash as the Ninjas in Pajamas take on a very battle-worn Faenex who has, I mean, honestly, like they've just been fighting through the gauntlet here. Does it end here? Does it, Bitey? I don't know if you're going to be with us on the desk for that one.
No, I'm going to be moving on, and my buddy Meta's going to be taking over for me.
So does it end for Faenex right there?
I believe in the Bugsy. And Theo, wherever he is, he's up there. He picks Ash. I believe in you, Theo. Wherever you're at, just let me know.
Just let me know. Just you know, give me a call sometime. Gore, any final thoughts before we
I'm just
close
excited to see this one. I think it's going to be another one that's going to go pretty far. It might not go all 7, but I'm thinking at least 6.
All right, we'll save the prediction
we gotta hold it
for afterwards. You know, we can't give everyone everything quite yet, but we are not done yet, folks. We have plenty more Paladins to be played right here at the Hi-Rez Expo 2018. It is 10:20 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are more than likely going to burn the midnight oil, and it is going to be awesome. We hope you stick with us, and we'll see you on the other side.